Excellent. So, the group of you has successfully left Rakmir last time we had played and headed down towards the kind of midpoint between the great city of Rakmir and the kind of huge metropolis, coastal trade um, uh, port city of Breakwater. And while you're heading to Heachi, there's a multitude of reasons why you're going there. One of them was to search for a lead for Slate's missing wife and daughter. Also to see about finding leads of the six-fingered man, as well as meeting with some new vaguely ally individual, Sophia Neves, who was a Velen monk dedicated to fighting the six-fingered man and agents of undeath. She headed there before you, under kind of agreement with Orly, and you briefly, before leaving Rakmir, she mentioned, well, went back into Nathaniel Everstone's home and to confess. Sorry about that. My friends accidentally took a knife with them from my kitchen. I had to bring it back.
For murder. That's fine.
Yeah. So you briefly went back to Nathaniel Everstone's home in the basement where you tried to identify if the veinstone chunk, which he had been researching, was still there, and it was. Torkel nearly lost a piece of equipment, his lower leg armor, but he was definitely managed to be pulled out by Leronok and Thoric. And on your road to Heatshade, you ran into these strange tribals from the Easterlands, who later learn have been harassing the roads for a couple of weeks and are responsible for displacing a lot of tribes of gnolls to the kind of wild lands outside of conquered and settled, recognized territories of the Concord. It's all conquered lands, but not so much any townships or hamlets, just more traveling nomads of gnolls and stuff like that. So Leonok healed them, and then finally investigating this kind of fence, this kind of underground trade area underneath the Heatshade guest house. You slipped in, Leonok under disguise with Sophia assisting, and managed to find out that three identity stones were sold to a woman roughly fitting the description of Slate's wife. And just as you're about to kind of meet Torkel and Thoric and discuss your findings, you started to hear the warning alarm horns of this Silver Templars and the brass shields as Dragon was shouted as an immediate alarm to raise armaments and prepare defenses. In this chaos, as there's kind of just this dull, hanging, cold air between the four of you, with Sophia joined you, what do you do?
I would like to use my action to cry.
Valid.
Okay.
I mean, they're shouting for prepare everything. So shield out. He'll take he'll take Shadow Spike out, but he doesn't know what he's gonna do. He doesn't know how much that's gonna be of any use to him. And he's going to, I suppose, to try to usher people into cover.
Okay. While you're all doing this, Sophia just looks shocked. You get a sense that she's never seen a dragon either before, and she's looking to the three of you or four of you for any guidance or information. While this is happening, and you guys are preparing yourselves, what you do notice all your passive perceptions is the faint moon that was hanging in the air above, which is giving this kind of lovely clear light hanging over the night of Heatshade, mixed with torchlight and candlelight from windows. You just watch as clouds slowly start to encompass the moon and drown out the moonlight in the sky above. So Leonok, if something you want to do.
I need to find a area where we can drop the spell. Oh, sorry, I think I've still got the change shape, whatever the spell.
Yeah, you still got disguise stealth basically applied to yourself.
Disguise stealth. I need to find a place where that can be dropped. Really.
Sure, make a stealth check without disadvantage to basically.
Oh my god!
Quickly
I mean,
someone.
it's still gonna frickin' suck.
First roll of the evening.
Where is it? There we go.
It sets the tone for the rest.
Oh, sorry, that is with
An 8.
disadvantage, but 8.
Yeah, an 8. Okay, 2 seconds.
Oh, neat. So heavy armor automatically does disadvantage on that. Good to know.
Okay. So you successfully, like, you go into an alleyway, like 1 second, and you watch as Leonard goes in the alleyway 25 feet away, and you see the form just quickly drop, and just as he drops this, running parallel to the alleyway is 4 brass shields in heavy armor, like one holding this massive armament, which looks like a lance, this massive sized lance, and another one holding a couple of heavy crossbows, and they just run straight past Leonard and doing the same. They rolled a 6 in their perception check. You hear them say, like, where's the finisher? What are we supposed to do? And this gruff other one holding the dragon lance says, just hold the walls of the town. Fall into order. Yes, sir. And they head off. Orly, what do you do?
I'm still hidden, right?
Yeah, you're still hidden.
Whereabouts am I?
You're about maybe 35 feet away from the front door where they kind of went down underneath the guest house from that kind of like password door. And then maybe like 45 feet away now from the actual group as they've kind of coalesced, the 4 of them.
Okay. Are we fully aware what is actually happening?
You've heard dragon, you've heard an emergency horn blare, and now that one is sounded off, another one, and then a third a few seconds later. This is all happening within the space of like 20 seconds, all of this action.
Yeah.
And you can
we just
hear,
know
like,
we just know dragon, just add dragon, right?
dragon, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna stick
the
with
draw.
You
Oh,
did hear
we
one
did,
brass
actually.
shield. One brass shield did shout the jackal, the jewelstone jackal.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna be sticking with the group anyways. I'll probably try to stay to the rear as much as possible because, or like I'm shitting it. So there's no other way to like phrase it.
Okay. All right. While this is all happening, what do the 4 of you, the 40 power members, do? What do you do?
I think we're stun locked, right? I feel like.
I mean, Thoric really wants to run to the defense.
We'll
follow you then.
Taco starts moving forward as well, like indicating that we need to go and help these people. So,
As you come around the side of the guest house, you can see people, a mix of heavily armored knights grabbing weapons, being tossed to them or given to them in scabbards from their scribes and squires. You see that there are people, caravanners, rushing into the guest house, and also people holding goblets of wine, tankards of ale, running out in surprise to look at the sky. And you see dozens and dozens of pairs of commoners and civilians just looking skyward to see if they can see anything. Yep.
Taco starts shouting, "Get back inside, move!" and then pushing any normal townspeople that he comes into contact with back towards doors. There's no point being outside gaping up at the sky.
Either make an intimidation check or a persuasion check.
Can I assist?
Yeah.
You can definitely assist.
You're not trying to scare them.
Yeah,
I don't think he's trying to scare them. He's trying to persuade them.
Yeah, make a persuasion check then on.
Like get to sewers, get to basements, somewhere that.
Yeah, the archers, wherever, get away from this place. 18.
All right. Okay. So while that happens, you get most of them back in. We cut across to kind of the first floor in a fine, lovely, for the area room, and we see a relaxing Hendrik. You have heard the shouts, you have heard the horns, and you're just kind of thinking about what to do. Then you hear at the front door, kind of opposite outside the window, about 25 feet away, you can roughly hear one of your party members' voices, Torkel, shouting, "Get back inside, get back!" Hendrik, how do you react to the situation?
Hendrik is sitting in a chair reading a book in a bathrobe, and he gets up and he puts his sneakers, his what do they call those?
Slide-ons?
Yes, slide-ons. Yeah, and goes slippers. Thank you, slippers. On and goes over to the window because I have my own room. I'm sure it's a nice room, so it has a window, I'm sure. And I'll just open the window and like look around, like just like
you see your entire party. You see your entire party standing outside the front of the guest house. gesturing people to go back inside who are trying to get a look at wherever this shout of dragons is coming from. What you also see is a handful of knights and brass shields running out both of the exterior gates to the outside perimeter of the actual heat shade structure, and your party's there, and they're about 25 feet, 20 feet away, I'll say now. And you guys see Hendrix open up the door in a bathrobe, just looking relaxed, holding a book in one hand.
He's leaning out the window. Hugh, boy, what day is it?
Dragon Day. Do I see anything in the sky?
Make a perception check.
Yeah, fair enough. Normal perception.
12. What you could see is what you remember is when you were outside last, there was a strong presence of moonlight, which has now disappeared. What illumination is coming from torchlight and candlelight, and also magical weapons now being hastily blessed and enchanted by the knights as they ride out to cast like light spells on them to illuminate their path. They're grabbing their high-goals, grabbing camels, riding out to the exterior, past the wall of heat shade. So yeah. So what do you do, Hendrik? When you the two of you, your party members, and you lock eyes, what happens?
Still have no idea what's going on. And am I in the ground floor or first floor?
You'd be on the first floor.
Oh, okay. I thought I was on the ground floor. Or okay, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, fuck, I'm gonna stay up here. If they're like shepherding people into the building, this is probably the safest spot. And I still don't know what's going on, so this heightened area is gonna give me hopefully a better chance of seeing what the fuck's happening.
Didn't Cypher tell you that you heard the call of dragon?
Yeah, you definitely hear people shouting dragon and emergency horns.
Yeah, but it's like it might be a wyvern, it might be all sorts of shit.
It's at this point that a brass shield rides past you with this camel covered in like half plate armor. He's covered in full plate himself. He's got a sickle strapped to his belt and a warhammer, and he kind of rides past you guys, and he says, "Finishing his orders, any man, any woman, any person that can fight outside the walls now."
Hendrik, get down here.
Hey, I'll be right down. And you see him like shuffle.
Okay.
And
I'll say it takes you about 20 seconds to get downstairs.
Yeah, 20 seconds. And Hendrik comes out in his bathrobe.
Slippers.
Yes, combat slippers.
Nice. Even for the bathrobe, it looks comfortable, but there's just an air of still protection about him.
Where is the beast? Where's the dragon?
The kind of brass shield, like still, he's ruled off by this point. He basically just said to you guys, like, anyone that can fight outside the walls now.
No,
I don't think walls can stop a fucking dragon.
Yeah, that's why we're getting outside them.
Yeah. Okay, so you see dozens and dozens of people heavily armored, some mercenaries as well, sellswords, and also these dark cloaked, dark leather garbed mercenaries also heading out. They seem to be more of an organized band, organized as knights, as the Templars. And North Gate or South Gate, which one do you run to?
Or are they running to?
Both of them, both sides.
Scan the sky to see if we pick up anything. No.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Rest the dragon. Do it, Darumwood.
17. So in this chaos, Torkel, you point your head skyward. The actually heavily dark, obscured clouds above. As you stare up, you feel that first droplet of rain hit against your cheek, and then another, and then another, until finally, just the heavens start to just fall softly. And as you stare up and look around, maybe it's hard to tell distance, but you just see circling. You just see this kind of bluish, kind of streaking light appearing every couple of what you imagine maybe like bursts of maybe 100 feet, then another 100, maybe another 200, just this kind of wave of blue light circling in the clouds above. Maybe fainter, then brighter, then it kind of skips from where you imagine it will be. And then as you kind of stare at it, Torkel, you see it start to careen at like a 90-degree angle, just downward towards the sky. From the sky to the earth.
And then that's Northgate. And then I'd start, I would say, I think I have eyes. North, move north.
Okay.
I trust Torkel. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
So what's happening hastily right now is as you run towards Northgate, there are brass shields holding basically people getting in the fucking way of a military matter. And there's brass shields like this, like move back and trying to get people quickly in because there's exterior buildings and lodgings on the exterior side of the heat shield, and they're gesturing people to get in, and also clear a path for any knights or beasts or mercenaries to get out, and you just follow that through. There's this person who's going, go, 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 gesturing guys through. As you come immediately at the northern wall, you see a mix of like 20 raising flames, Templars. You see one individual on this huge armored idol. It is in full plate, which looks enchanted. You see soft glyphs of warning and danger across its tail and both of its heads. You see just the back of an individual who has this dark red cape with the symbol of the Raising Flame Order on it, and you see them shouting orders in a thick, draconic accent. I want patrols to the east, patrols to the west. Keep an eye on these beasts.
I'm going to go out on a limb assume that's the Seneschal.
Mm-hmm.
Does appear so. They are, as I said, befits this faction. They wear lighter armaments, but he still looks well decked out. He's he's slightly smaller than Thoric, which is still a pretty big guy. And he kind of turns his idol, and he looks at one of the knights, and he looks up at her, and she's looking towards the sky. You can see a soft emerald glow of her eyes, and she says, "It's coming, Seneschal! The beast is coming!" And he just shouts, "Get to the day!" And you just watch, like 100 feet ahead of him, just this almost like the lightning bolt strike, smacks in the earth, dust flies ever, stones just cascade in the sky. And there's just a pause as people raise heavy crossbows, raise weapons, blades leave scabbards. Where are the five of you as this happens? Are you kind of running to get close to the knights, or what do you do?
Oh, Thoric is wanting to get right up there into the thick of it. That's where he wants to be.
Okay. All right.
When Thoric is running up for this, does Thoric? Sorry, for my character, it's been a day. For me, it's been a week. Does Thoric have a magic weapon?
It's not magic. It's just a special weapon.
Okay, who wants this? Is what I'm asking. Because if it's a dragon, the normal weapons might not be effective. I don't remember.
We do not know if it is here to attack.
I'll take it.
We're not fucking doing that right now, dude.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Shut the hell up there, Doc.
Okay. So as you quickly, just before you like to run off, Thoric, you enchant this weapon. It glistens with the light and just disappear as he runs off to form ranks. Orly and everyone else, do you do the same?
We'll be going forwards with the knights, but he's not going to be on like the front line. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
okay.
So he's, I guess, if they've like the front line, he's going to be like 15 feet back.
Yeah.
Just that way he can react to anyone getting hurt more effectively.
I mean,
I'll be like 30 to 60 feet behind everyone else.
I mean, Thoric is he's a bulwark. He's there to help keep others safe. So if the front lines was going to get hit first, he's going there to help protect them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
As soon as Torkel gets within 30 feet of the knights, how many of his companions are also within 30 feet? I'm assuming
so there's a line of knights. They've like upturned wagons hiding behind rocks. Like it's not just people standing out in open plain. There's a lot of scattered debris around. So they're 30 feet. The Seneschal is kind of just past the front line. Thork is going to the front line. Hendrik, I imagine, is staying back. Orly, are you staying back?
Yeah, I'm like 60 feet back.
Okay, cool.
Torkel runs forward and casts Bless at second level. Leonok, Thoric, myself, and the Seneschal. That's 4, right?
Yeah. The Seneschal is he is already blessed, so the spell does not take effect on him.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. I'll just
You can just cast at one level. I don't mind.
Oh, that's okay. I would say that would do that. That's fine.
Okay.
I have a
It's
question.
good to know that he's blast anyway.
Yes.
How far are we from the wall?
From the wall, you probably ran out. You're maybe like the wall's 30 feet behind you. And at this point, when you look back, the portcullis shuts.
Oh, son of a bit! Fuck you, DM.
I love it.
Oh man, I was somebody use as cover because I got good.
So die.
God damn it.
There is a lot of cover around. So while this happens,
I find
there's just a pause. You find a rock. All right, you find a rock.
Also,
Is anyone making a stealth check?
Me.
Oh no,
Make a stealth check.
I'll do one because I'm fucking hiding in behind a rock. Maybe it'll attack me less.
Describing earlier, did it actually shoot lightning, or was it just like something?
You don't know. The
hitting
dust hasn't
ground?
cleared yet. It looked more like a meteoric impact of just speed.
Okay,
burst.
I get it. Right, that's fine.
Yeah. You watch as clearing from the dust. First, you see two cyan eyes stare out as the dust clears, and then a third above the pair of them, above the pair of eyes. And as the dust clears from kind of top to bottom, this drake's head, this great dragon's head, starts to reveal itself. You see the dark blue scales of a massive dragon. There are a great deal of rings and jewels encrusted across its head and its form. Behind the actual head, there's a huge frill, like a massive triceratops frill on the top of its scalp. And there sits now a blinking third opened, magically glowing eye in the center of the frill. There are darker skin patterns, kind of beautiful natural pigment of slightly darker blues and blacks covering the frill. There are rings and chains and bracelets hanging off its what presumes like flicked ears and its horns. It almost looks like how much riches are on just its head so far. You might be at a glance misassume this is a silver or golden drake. You see that from its top jaw, all of its teeth are carved with draconic words of power, which kind of give this dull, glowing effect. From its bottom jaw, from its throat, as more of the dust clears, you see this lightning wave pulse flow down from its throat into its chest cavity, down past its midriff into the tail itself, like a lightning wave of current constantly circling through the body. Just that it takes about 30 seconds to pass, and as one end of the lightning ends at its tail, a new pulse begins in its mouth. Its wings are coated in a complex maze of chains pierced in the sinew. There are baubles and riches woven into it. These dragons, when they unfurl, as it kind of raises its wings fully out, looks more like an artist's attempt at painting a treasure rather than actually being attached to a dragon's form. The dragon stares down at the seneschal, the Templars before you, and it casts its magical third eye over the entire group. It has this kind of regal, upfront, chest pronounced, head fully erect, skyward stance to it. And there's just absolute silence. The rain seems to cease for a second. You just hear like the kind of clattering and movement of metal as people kind of jerk into position. That's when the dragon starts to speak. And it's a more softer tone than what you imagined. It's almost sweet and calming. I seek an audience with powers that be that represent the Concord. Is this an appropriate location to accomplish such a task? The seneschal, with a weapon which is currently coated in poison, this slashing sword that is kind of covered in runes and glowing gold with power, looks towards his men. He shouts out, "Listen! I am Seneschal.
of the Order of the Raising Flame. My name is Luises Burgas.
Dragon slowly inclines its head downward, giving a curt of respect. Ah. Then you seem to have misplaced some of your allies within my home. And from one of her enchanted glowing rings on her finger, it softly glows a dark red, and you see a little fleck of red light pierce out of the ring and conjure two shapes immediately magically in front of her, about 20 feet in front of her. And you see two kind of almost at readiness forms of knights turned to stone. They look to have been in the process of raising weapons, or one of them leveling a bow, pointing upwards. She inclines her head towards them. Are these your men? Seneschal just stares at them.
They are.
She kind of takes that in. Well, I had thought that my choice to ignore your previous instructions and messages made it clear that I didn't want to be troubled with such Concord business, and I was very offended to find little spies in my home. And the Seneschal pointedly, like just fierce arrogance, this dragon's just sarcastic, charismatic nature.
They had a job to do. Do they still live?
Dragon just slowly nods. They do. And she says, you can have them back. The ring pulses the red magic light as both forms of stone, the stone starts to crack and tumble and fall off them. The two of them immediately fall onto the ground, conscious, gasping for air, breathing like they're breathing their first breath into the world that they've just came into, dropping their weapons. And then they just look at the dragon, look at the Seneschal, and they just slowly crawl towards the front line. This is a kindness. I return them to you unharmed, as our agreement to not interfere with each other's businesses, per the treaty I signed with your Hierophants, Seneschal.
I oblige and thank you for your kind treatment, Balrazir Jewelstone Jackal of the Eastern Plains.
My, you know your respect. You might have a seat at my court one day if you keep talking like that, and have high praise for being such as I in my perfect form. And kind of inclines her hand, and you see like just the interior palm glow as a kind of spell of lightning is conjured in her palm, and then that dissipates.
Well, you've arrived here now. What business do you have with Concord lands?
Oh, it is not business I have with you. It is that I mean to declare I want no part and no envoy sent to my home or abode henceforth from this point when I come to declare such intentions. You are revoked from sending any envoys, even a trace amount close to my borders, from this point on, Seneschal.
There was a military wish this.
Yes, I'm sure there's something you desperately want to talk to me about, but I'm a very busy dragon. I have many things to do. I have a home and children to take care of. Don't you understand being a single mother's heart these days?
I want to speak. Okay. Taco shouts.
Oh wow.
Taco shouts. It's Barrazir, isn't it? Taco shouts. Barrazir. I understand it is hard to keep track of all of your children, but I think some may have escaped your sight.
The third eye, the mystical eye, immediately turns independently of the two and locks on you. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
I cannot shield you from this.
Nope.
A wisdom saving throw.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Hey, it's a good start for you, right?
Do I have any? Do we have inspiration?
I don't know. Do you?
I don't have it marked.
I'll give you my inspiration.
You should have inspiration.
I'll give you my inspiration.
Okay, a 12 fails.
Well, the 16.
A 16 fails.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
You have
ancient dragon, bro.
bless. We don't know if it's an ancient
You
dragon.
do have bless. You do have
It could
bless.
be something else.
With a
I
17,
don't know if it'll make a difference, but
with a 17,
18.
no, an 18. With an 18, you sense as this mystical eye just stares at you, and you feel this kind of pressure on the front of your scalp, then at the back of your head, then at the side of your head, as this influence starts to beguile you, and you feel it pressing into your memories to see what it wants to know of what you know of dragons, and you shrug it off. The dragon's eyes still locked with the seneschal. Everyone now has looked at you, Torkel. Even the seneschal has turned and looked at you. Seneschal, this black dragonborn that has finally turned around to look at you in his full armor, his piercing yellow eyes in the light.
You have something to say, priest?
I could not stand by and listen to our friend the dragon denounce us for sending an envoy when there are potentially two dragons existing inside our landship now. It seems like
Torko, I understand where you're coming from, but perhaps we should be dealt with by others.
The dragon takes a couple steps forward, like 80 feet away from the front line. She ignores the seneschal and speaks directly to you, addressing you. You know many things, for one I have not recognized before. We will speak, you and I. You hear a voice in your head, Torkel. Much more private in here. What do you know of my kin and my babies?
I will reply.
This is all mental speed of thought.
Yeah, that's fine. We have came in contact with at least one of your children living in an area previously known as the Sun Citadel.
Did it give you its name?
But that gives us its name, didn't it? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'll say a character probably remember its name.
Oh.
I mean, I would have noted down, but I can't hear this conversation, so I can't check.
No, this is all in his head.
Yeah.
And while this is happening, Torkel has this intense look in his face as his eyes are locked with the dragon. And the dragon's third eye is scanning all of you, like scanning your party and the knights. You hear a voice in your head, Thoric. Where did you get that shield?
From a dragon.
Alright.
Yeah, Calric says his name.
Calric,
These are two conversations happening at once, independent of one another.
So yeah, just, I'm assuming this is a mental conversation.
Yeah, very fast.
So Calrax, Sunless Citadel.
Make a wisdom saving thing.
I don't have this done.
Or grant advantage. Cool, I get advantage because the armor.
You have a mind carapace armor, yeah.
Are you blessed as well?
And
yes.
19.
Doesn't
23. A 23 is a success. Thoric, you feel a similar sensation to what Torkel experienced, the kind of pulsing and almost like claws raking against your interior brain matter. And you just hear in your voice, I don't know what they're teaching people nowadays, but minds are so much more thicker and well traversed than they used to be when I first came to these lands. Continue. What do you know of my darling boy, Cowrat? Is he well? Has he eaten?
We came across him in the Sunless Citadel. He was in some trouble is the wrong word. We helped him out. He gave us some reward, and now him and some kobolds are residing in the Citadel.
Okay, with that conversation swiftly ended, she says, I appreciate the honesty. I snap back towards Thoric. Torkel. Torkel, in your mind, you say Calrax. And at this point, She says, yes, your friend, the dragon, in the Sunless Citadel. Ah, old times. That was comfortable for me once upon a time, but I think since I fell into the earth, it's outgrown my wings. And you see the dragon's wings like flap, and you more less hear like movement. You more just hear the shingle and creaking and movement of chains and gold and platinum. And actually, when she flaps her wings, you actually see some gold coins and platinum coins hit the earth that fall off the chains they're tied to.
Gram.
The seneschal now he says,
Great Bard is here. You came to address a person representative of the Concord, not some travelers on the road.
she immediately the conversation in your head ends. Torkel and Thoric. She is closer now. She's 80 feet away. Yes, well, my intent is now to declare no more further provocation and intrudement. Seneschal meets her eyes. He says very pointedly, but with a careful tone,
Then why do you allow tribal savages to pass through your lands, to attack kin and peoples within the Concord's care?
the dragon does not answer. There's just silence. An awkward silence. And then rather than awkward silence, you see the dragon's curl smile start to appear as she just stares at Seneschal. And then this kind of laugh from its gullet, and you see the lightning actually pick up and pace as the dragon laughs. And actually, now that you've seen more of the dragon, every time she speaks or seems to get excited, the pulse actually escalates in speed down, coursing through her body. And now that she's closer, the intensity of the light is actually so intense as it pulses down her body. You swear you can actually see bones beneath the scales. It's almost like a miniature X-ray moving through your entire form, from the inside outward. The two knights have now got back to the lines after being heavily, they're being picked up and looked after and all this stuff as well.
Can I go forward to sort of help them out?
You can, yeah.
Just checking that they're okay. Everything.
They look pretty they definitely have got a few points of exhaustion. They look pretty suffered. By whatever spell was cast on them that turned them to stone.
You'll just do what you can to sort of ease that a little bit. If they're hurt, you do some healing, etc. He's got a first aid kit, so whatever he's doing really.
You see a figure from these kind of dark armored mercenary band. One of them who looks more bedecadent in armaments and weaponry, like almost so many weapons it looks impossible to be proficient with so many of them at once. Start to walk over towards Seneschal within your lines, and they whisper something to the Seneschal. Seneschal just has this absolute look of disdain as they look down at the person. And you hear the dragon say audibly, "Try it." And you see all the teeth glow with power as lightning starts to claw around its jaw. Seneschal speaks.
No, there will be no bloodshed today. I will pass these information onto the powers within the Golden Council so that no envoys be sent further towards your lands, Barazir.
And the dragon inclines its head. Not a really respectful bow, but certainly a few inches in dipping height. And you hear mentally in your head, Thoric and Torkel, we will speak of this soon. Don't get dragged up in all these petty complaints about lands and squabbles and stealing. Respect the dragon's power and be rewarded for it. You swear the dragon winks at the two of you. As the wings. You can speak. You can think or reply if you want to.
Yeah. The Torkel thinks It's hard to keep track of everything when you rule such a large land, but do you intend to do anything about your kin?
Just to know where they are is a start for keeping them within order. They have stretched further than I anticipated. A spanked tail is in order, I think.
We told this guy's
Turtle
mom
gives
on
like an
him.
imperceptible nod.
Okay. The dragon's wings go outward and it starts to flap. And actually, you see miniature storms of lightning go underneath the wings to create this kind of twisting tornado of lightning, as almost like this hugely accelerated form, just to fully rise up 20 feet, 30, 40, 50, as she just speaks a draconic word of power, as all of you recognize it in draconic tongue, as she speaks in the true draconic tongue. Speed! As she just, like a lightning bolt, just disappears and flies through the air, like the speed of a shot bullet of a gun, just gone. All of the clouds that she burned through almost disintegrate on impact, as there's just a hole, a crater to the sky, where the dragon immediately accelerated and disappeared. Stunned silence. And before you can even think, the seneschal turns to you, Torkel, and just hops off the hydle and walks right up to you, his 7-foot tall, imposing, huge black dragonborn.
Just so I know, can I start heading towards their direction now?
Of course, yeah. Hendrik Orley, you see the seneschal walk straight up to Torkel, and Thoric go to intercept him. And then another kind of number of knights go behind the seneschal as well. He walks up to you, Thoric. It's like Torkel. Looks you up and down, and outstretches a big gauntlet. Huge dragonborn gauntlet.
Like, fireball me?
No, just shake your hand.
I'll shake his hand.
All right, make a dexterity saving throw.
Ah, fuck off. Okay. Not one of my good ones.
Oh, I already gave you my advantage. I can't help.
You watch
okay.
as the seneschal walks
Shoot him
up.
through.
You see him just with this almost expressionless look on his face. He outstretches his gauntlet. Torkel takes it. Then he puts all his weight on his back foot and swings his arm, his right hand outward, and throws Torkel not 5, not 10, not 15, but 20 feet through the air into a rock.
Like,
You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you basically connect with the rock, Torkel.
Thoric like catches up with the seneschal. It's like, what happened? Like, I know he called out, but
Seneschal, not good, but he's not due for us to start a fight like this. I understand he acted out of turn to lash out in his ill form.
He looks at you.
And I will look at him back. It's like,
Angel with no colors upon his crest. What is your involvement in this?
he is a part of my group. We were traveling and sought to aid in this call for dragon. But I am glad it did not come to bloodshed.
did he talk in your minds too?
Seneschal wheels on you. What?
Thoric
No.
just kind of like looking confused at the anger. More like, yeah, the dragon spoke to me in my mind.
You see that the figure, the dark armored figure, kind of quickly quickens pace and heads up to the seneschal. You see as they pull back their hood, which they hadn't done at this point before, you see 2 twisting ram horns on their head. Their cheeks, and this large ponytail of pure jet black hair tied up into like kind of not imposing, like a warrior's bun. And she goes, Seneschal, please. They could be great use to us in the matters of the powers here. her voice barely a whisper. Seneschal,
This is not mercenary business. This is military commanding operations.
and he just like kicks a stone, like a large stone, and the stone cracks in half.
I'm just like, I'm gonna go over to help Torkel. No, I'm just gonna.
Torkel, you were just standing up now after being prone. The knights that he basically threw in the past some knights, and he just basically stood to one side, left and right, as he impacted the rock.
Yeah, I picked myself up and cast.
They knew what was coming.
Mm.
If fuck it. While this is all going on, Hendrik. Okay, Hendrik doesn't give a fuck what people think about him. The job comes first. Hendrik is really curious because the dragon, when it left, dropped a bunch of like stuff, gold coins and some other stuff. I'm really curious what that is. Because I mean, okay, it's worth something, sure, but I'm really curious if it'll like give us any information about like where this dragon is getting its gold from, essentially.
Sure. You want to head out like to where the dragon was?
Yeah, and just unabashedly just scrounging up shiny bits from the ground.
Make an investigation check for me, please. Orly, what are you doing?
Is the portcullis being lifted?
Not yet. The brass shields are still like being pretty careful.
All right.
The Seneschal hasn't ordered it to be lifted yet.
To be honest, throughout that whole ordeal, Orly would have been hiding and pretty much kind of like turned his back to the whole ordeal. And now that it's over, like a white-faced, pale, and just non-responsive. I'm looking for the portcullis to lift, and I'm just ready to walk away.
Okay, Hendrik, as you walk out, you quickly see that under like your dark vision, you see the mirrored reflection. Are there just a bunch of gold coins and platinum coins? They are local currency. They are
like to friggin' Erith.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. You do see that there's a mix of other coinage and some light small gems, like 10 GP worth gems here as well, like agates and little moonstones and stuff like that, like small quantities. Some even minuscule diamonds, like the size of your fingernail, that are just like maybe worth 10 or 20 GP at a time. And as you look, they're like, this dragon is covering so many riches, it's literally falling off of it. With a 25 investigation check, the dragon's imprint on the earth, with also the book that you had earlier in the campaign, you would surmise that this dragon is an adult, not an ancient. Oh, it's an adult blue dragon.
Interesting. Can you tell me how old an adult dragon is, or should I roll Arcana for that?
Yeah, the book.
I know a general range.
Yeah, like less than maybe 600. Less than 600 years old.
I think Erith is like 500, 400 years old, something like that.
1600.
Oh, 1600. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, the current year is 1600.
Since I believe Bar-Vizir. Sorry, is it Bar-Vizir or Bar-Rizir?
Bar-Rizir.
Rizir. Okay, cool. Bar-Rizir. I'm pretty sure we were enemies at some point.
Roll a history check.
Oh, good. I'm great at those.
Yeah.
I have further questions.
Yes. What would you like to ask?
The coins that you said came from Erith, how old do they look? Like, how weathered? Like, are they from?
Some of them look maybe 10 years minted. Others look well over 100 years old.
Well, that's fucking weird. How's this dragon getting a bunch of money from Erith? Unless he's taking it. Okay.
Lurnok with a 10. You do know that Bar-Rizir was there was a back and forth with military and people who believe in the dragon, follow the dragon, and then it kind of sorted out maybe about 60, 80 years ago with a kind of truce being signed between the dragon and the Golden Council.
Yeah, I remember the pact being or a pact deal, whatever you want to call it, being made with them. But yes, that more or less explains why they've got the older coins. They probably took them while they were raiding, raiding, whatever, while we were fighting. I guess newer coins could be given in tribute by people who want their favor.
Or trespassers.
Or that.
Payment from her children who are in the lands of.
Yeah, but that's the fun bit. Because if that's true, then she actually does have political ties to those dragons that are breaking the treaty.
I think she already does.
While this is
Right,
happening,
the implication is that she's allowing bandits to come through her land to fight. It's a Cold War.
Yeah.
It's a Cold War.
But
I mean,
allowing
it could potentially be that she just doesn't want to get involved.
I think it's a bigger implication than just like she allows them to happen via averse. She's directly financially gaining from the source. No.
the Seneschal.
I think she was a very amenable person. I think she was a fantastic.
Fuck dragons. I mean, don't do
that's
that.
separate talk.
Dragons are evil.
The Seneschal spits a goblet of acid on the ground, which pisses and burns. Looks towards the new person who just arrived, which clearly has revealed herself as a tiefling.
Ooh.
He looks at her. Amanda, these passerbys, we cannot trust them fully. And she says to him, in point of all of you, we don't have to trust them. We just have to use them, Lord Seneschal. The knights, not spoken. You realize that most of the people who came out here are either tree knights, squires, and a handful of these mercenaries. Anyone else, brass shields, other smaller mercenaries might have managed to get restrained or choose to stay inside. This is now, you're truly within a military environment, and whatever words are being said are probably privy to private information, or don't speak.
Erith is not thrilled to be back in the military operation.
I have. So it said like, oh, we can't trust them. Like we can use them. Thoric is going to, in a way that's not super obvious to those outside, but for the Seneschal and the Tiefling Amanda here, that 1/3 of the Aidling petal. Just to see if it's recognized by them at all. He's not going to go into the story behind it, but if they recognize it, they recognize
You lift it out of your chest, your greave, not your greave, your neck guard. Lift it above, it's hang on your neck. As soon as Seneschal sees it, his anger seems to subside. Make an insight check, Thoric, and Torkel, you can as well.
Yep.
Leonok, you can as well. You can make an insight check as well. Hendrik, you're investing the dragon, and Orly is still way back.
Too far away.
I will attempt to.
19.
Fucking
damn, dude, it's not going well.
Mm.
You know what? I take him at his word. I'm trusting him.
Yeah.
or maybe I just don't want to look at him because he's a military man.
Torkel, you read this individual's military commanders, and he's less. As soon as you see Thoric's display with seeing this Aidling petal, a quarter of it at least, his frame of mind goes from an intolerant group of passerbys who have hastily involved themselves in something that's going to be a pain in the ass to explain to the Golden Council to now of, oh, we're equals, or somewhat close to importance and a kinship and desire of stuff, of whatever outcomes may be. You see with the 19 that he does relax when he sees it, and he speaks. The woman does recognize it as well, and she seems more annoyed by seeing this rather than actually like excited. And he says, forgive me, I was not aware you bared the mark. Well, looks towards the woman who's now been named as Amanda. We won't be using them as tools now. We must speak in private now that you are at least marked as important. Come.
So Thor goes, with me is Hendrik. He points over to the figure hunched over, picking up coins off the ground.
The man
Yeah.
in a bathrobe at night, on his knees in the mud, scrounging up.
Again, you're in a fucking bathrobe.
That's Hendrik. Lyranok. Point over to the paladin.
Will just give a nod, and it's very much in the stiff respect label, where it's just like, I'm here to be respectful, but not. I don't like him, but I'm respectful.
And point to Torkel. That's Torkel, the gentleman you attempted to explode against the rock. And he Thorg looks around and he can't see Orly.
There is another one somewhere, but
I think that's it here with us.
Very well. We must speak where wandering ears do not find their conversations. And Amanda goes to speak, and he says, "Dismissed, mercenary." And she stops her step forward and rescinds her hand back into her cloak, pulls her hood back up, and then she wanders back towards her group of 6 individuals that follows her. You see the seneschal give a waving command. The portcullis opens up. The knights, a handful of them, still stay out here on patrol, and kind of junior officers start to dispatch patrols, scouts and all this stuff as well. They're not just going to all fade back in the town after something like that. They're going to send people out to make sure what's going on is still safe.
Yeah.
There's still an armed escort to the seneschal. You come past the guest house's heat shade. Orly, at this point, the portcullis opens, the seneschal starts to walk in, and your friends are now walking with him. What do you do?
I would have let them walk on past.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll probably wait out there for a few moments if you want to just continue.
Okay. Hendrik, you see your friends start to leave. Do you guys give a shout for Hendrik? Like, come with us.
Yeah.
I've gotten my information, so.
Just while we're traveling.
Although, DM, how much money worth of stuff did I get?
You find 36 gold pieces.
Yay!
And 72 platinum pieces.
Holy shit.
Rich. Just while we're traveling, can I just use lay on hands on Torkel to
Yes.
probably take the edge off the back pain he is no doubt feeling?
I'm already I healed myself.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, no.
Yeah, I cast healing word.
Oh,
somehow it actually cured his back pain. He had a dislocated disc, and you threw against the boulder at Mach 10. It fixed it.
2 things happen. Hendrik, as you've just picked up the last platinum coin, a Raising Flame Knight walks up to you and then points. The Seneschal requires your presence. You are with that one, the Dragonborn?
Yeah. I'll
follow, please.
Okay. You've been volunteered.
You are being rescued. Do not resist.
Yeah.
Orly, you hear a voice left of your ear, very close but whisper. You don't see a source to it. It alarms you at first, but you control your reaction. You hear Sophia's voice. What the fuck is going
on? Alright, don't respond.
Orly, what the fuck? What are we doing?
Has everyone gone in by now?
Everyone is like, the portcullis is opened. The seneschal is maybe like 150 feet going back towards the guest house way, plus all of your party, the other 4 members of your party. And Sophia is whispering to you and invisibly, being like, what are we doing? What's going on? Are you going to follow them?
I don't respond. I'm just staring at the ground.
Okay. Are you, like, instead of this kind of rushed, panicked tone, you hear more of a considerate voice. What's wrong? Are you okay?
I'll stand up and start to trudge away. I need a drink.
Okay. She keeps invisibility. I'll catch up with you guys later. And Sophia's presence, her voice disappears. Now, do you actually go to meet with your party again, or do you just head towards the? Okay.
No, I just want to be alone, but within range of alcohol.
Okay. All right.
I can't detect alcohol.
Orly, as soon as you drop your stealth, a couple of knights walk over to you. And one of them says,
Are you the one with the dragonborn? He said one was hiding.
I didn't.
You did say one was about here somewhere.
Yeah, I looked around and said one of them should be around.
Someone immediately appearing behind a rock being stealth is alarming to these knights. They're on edge. They would have.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
With no expression, nonchalant, if you want to say that. I don't even meet with their guys. I say no and continue to attempt to trudge past.
He looks as apologies for disturbing you then. Looks towards all your armament and stuff like that. Courageous for you to leave the walls then, in that case. Gods be with you. And he turns and leaves. Because he does not know who the fuck you are. Because you did not get quite. The four of you, where you go find alcohol. The tavern is bustling with activity and people already spreading rumors of what happened. And
I'll get a few bottles and I'll go outside. Jesus.
Right, spend 6 silver. Yeah, a few bottles of
the strongest. I'll even spend more. Whatever's the handiest, the strongest kind of fucking shit.
Spend 6 gold then for a bottle of Drake's in vodka. Okay. Alright, okay. So while that's happening, you go. The four of you, when you first arrived at Heatshade and you're now interior, you did see an adjacent barn. You see that there were guards in front of it, raising flame, patrolmen. You walk into it, the Seneschal in front of you. He's not walking past you, he's in front of you, and he's got an armed guard intercepting from you to him. You walk in. This is a barn, what would have been a stable barn, which has been hastily renovated into a military command posting. There are lodgings, there are slots for the words are miscellaneous military running operations, administration, an arming cutoff, weapon stocks, weapons, all these things as well, bunks, and you see all of them seem to kind of chill when the Seneschal comes in, and he just speaks an order to everyone who's kind of waiting the command.
Back to your duties. I speak in private. With this troop, does your group have a name?
Oh, okay. Here's a question that we may have to discuss out of character. Have we ever discussed a name for our group before?
No.
I don't think we've had the time or the inclination to create a name for our group.
Yeah, this is in the team of superheroes.
Okay, then.
The Nancy Drews.
No, our team does not. Our group does not have a name as such.
We get named things, but we don't have a name.
Hendrick's posse. No. I mean, we are kind of posse, aren't we?
You are welcome to use that as a suggestion. We will put it in the suggestion box, which is over.
Okay, we can drop the Hendrick, but I think posse is actually accurate. We are like a ragtag group of deputized.
We are professionals.
People. Well, I mean, yes, but not in. Okay.
You walk into a sectioned off part of the barn. It is metally encased. Almost think of like this cocoon, egg-shaped structure made entirely out of a thick black metal, which you immediately recognize to be adamantium, Thoric, and Torkel, and Lyranok.
Oh,
and
wait.
It's an adamantium, like metal structure. And he walks up, puts a key into the door, the Seneschal does, opens it, the door opens up. There's guards already inside, there's light inside, there's a private study inside. And you see him go in, the armed guards come in. This room's maybe about 35 feet by about 40 feet. It's a pretty big adamantium structure.
That's a lot of adamantium.
It is. It is.
Seth, is this normal for Knights and Templars and such to have these like in forward bases, or is this something?
Make a history check.
Oh god,
with advantage because you're a Silver Templar with advantage.
Okay, it's going to help a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You
recognize this. You recognize this. These are one of the kind of newer protocols since the wars with Taeland. The entire the ceiling and the floor will be made of adamantium. These are, by in effect, divination leak-proof chambers, which cannot be spied on, which cannot be located. So individuals within this chamber cannot be located through divination, means they disappear. They are clearly hard to break open. They are used as basically like a safe room for generals or grand seneschals and military leaders. And you will know that there will be an accompanying break down this adamantium into its raw processes, its raw materials, then build it back up to whatever how much adamantium they have into a room again, like a mobile command center, defensive station.
And this is just maybe there is. Is there happen to be like a name for these things that the knights use? Something where like you like a knight or a Templar would know that if you use this, if you said this name, that's what they're referring to.
They call it a god coffin.
God coffin. Fuck. Okay. Wow. That's a
because when the Thorkel, when the priest of Kinos invented it, the person who invented it said not even God could break out of this or break into it.
And then he was burned at the stake for heresy.
Wow,
right?
that is a statement to use when you're in a.
It's hyperbole. It's hyperbole.
Is that what he said before he was?
What happened was?
Is that what he said before he was being executed?
Yeah, his execution was being locked inside to prove himself correct.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got
Lernock will mutter under his breath. A god coffin. It has been some time.
In this economy?
Step in.
Yeah, this is like these god coffins are incredibly expensive to maintain. You need a high level priest, a high up priest in the Kinos church to even just make one, never mind one that can move one in a battlefield role. It's a very important piece of equipment and takes a vast amount of adamantium, which can be turned into swords, plate mail, armaments, anything else. So,
to an adamantium plate armor. I guess walk in. I'm assuming we're being invited in and not.
You're being invited in.
He's not being brought here just to show off.
No, you're not. You're invited in. There is a long, huge, like 20-person table, long table there. It is covered in various people doing work. The seneschal gestures. His underling, one of his lower officers, starts to clear a path for seats for the group, your group, and him to sit at one of the ends. And people aren't like, there's guards, there's people who follow him at all times, and there's a bunch of other people in this room conducting a bunch of other work, which seems more important than the work outside of the god coffin. And he sits down. As soon as he sits down, there is a tankard of water sat in front of him and a tankard of ale. And done for you some.
So,
speaks to the four of you.
No group name. No alias. That's probably smarter than other things I've came across. Your involvement with the dragon was brave.
Looks at Torkel.
How long have you been on the path of the petal?
Well, he's looking at Torkel. Now, Sean said he'd be back. BRB 2 seconds. I'm not sure if he's actually back yet.
He's gesturing towards all you. He says you're the one that raised it, Thork. So he says, "How long have you been on the path of the petal?" To you, or to you, Thork, since you showed it.
Not long. We were involved in some things recently enough, and we were set on the path then, as you put it.
You have many things to learn as you progress on this path. But you were right to show me the markings. It made it clear you're someone who trusted you so inherently that it gives you a safety net. So, the dragon clearly spoke to the two of you. What about?
To me, she asked about where I got the shield from.
Yeah, he just nods.
Perhaps it's a shield she recognized before, but we encountered one of her, what now I think has probably been confirmed, one of her children in the Sunless Citadel. And part of the dealings there that happened, the shield was gifted to us.
By the dragon's child.
Yes, we weren't expecting to... when we first arrived at the Citadel, we weren't fully expecting to find a dragon there. I'm sorry, I'm correct in saying that out of character. I'm correct in saying that, right? Like, we weren't. Yeah,
You didn't have no idea there was dragons or
we
kobolds
did
or anything.
not know until we got the kobolds.
Yeah, sorry, just brain is slow. Role playing Thoric. We weren't expecting to find a young blue dragon there, but we did. Still there.
When you say
from
young,
I heard.
do you mean a young, about 50 years of age, or do you mean a wormling?
I still have the Book of Dragon Lore, so can I look up the book to confirm?
The Calrax was still a wormling. Calrax is still a young wormling at that.
A wormling.
Well, are as here as any greater drakes, as we know from our history.
The gestures towards his scales and yours.
Dragons produce many offspring. They know that their tendencies and nature is a dangerous one. The Raven Swords dispatch maybe over a dozen dragons around Heatshade each year. Black, some blue wormlings come too close. But by that point, even Balrazir cannot deny that their incursions on our lands means their lives are forfeit. The same way if we went soldiers towards ourselves. So, her returning them alive, like she had, either shows she is incredibly coy and cocky about her altruism, or she does not want to offend us. But back to the wormling. You said it is the Sunless Citadel, a sunken fortress destroyed by one of the Hierophants a long time ago.
Yes, that is right. We were sent there. Oh, young adults. They went there to show their faith in God. Talos was it? I think.
Talos, yeah.
Yes, Talos. In Talos after the Everstorm. They ran into some trouble, and we were asked to assist them. We did not know full details of what we would find in there, but all we knew was that they needed help, and we were able to provide it.
Seneschal considers these words.
Holy priest of Kinos, your words to the dragon. I imagine she has not had such a public disapproval of her behavior in some time. It was highly amusing, but I had to restrain my laughter when you got involved. And then I had to even more so restrain my anger for possibly endangering the lives of everyone outside the walls and within. You understand that dragon's fury is something you do not cross lightly. I only acted in a way that your actions could have brought a great amount of danger to the people that I must keep safe.
This was to you, Thoric. Or not Thoric, Torkel.
Yeah, I mean, the only response you could have would probably inflame things, so just nods.
Now, Father Razir, the arrogance of that creature, ignoring the one question we want answered. Why are these apostates coming down through our lands and allowed to pass freely without being turned to gelatinous goo by her lightning powers or her minions? Have you, and I'm sure you've heard what's going on within the region.
Yes, these groups of tribals come down from the mountains and causing all the issues. to the east. It's a shame.
Yes, it is. It is alarming. But what I'm going to say now isn't public knowledge. It is related to another civil Templar order. But it is poignant, I think, for you to know this, so you have a better assessment of how serious the situation is. The Sacred Bastion Order to the east, they have charge over the Slumbering Bluff Mountains and the mountains north of Eliza's Gap, securing it from invaders, infidels, apostate tribals. But they have suffered great many casualties fighting these tribes in the mountains of the Slumbering Bluffs. Their reserves are weighing thin. Dozens and dozens of knights have been killed, as well as 80 of over 100 irregulars and militiamen. They have had to pull back to reconsider their tactics within the area. And that is now why the tribes have came through the mountains unchallenged.
The Sacred Bastion is struggling to hold them back. But
yes, they are fierce warriors who have fought many a difficult battle against cults and giant tribes. But from my conversations and overhearings of letters with my order and that of the Bastion, what they have faced within those mountains has fallen knights who have served for decades, some even centuries, cut down and never returned. This is not known to many. There's been a moratorium on this information placed upon it by the Golden Council. So hear these words. The information that the Sacred Bastion is at its absolute width of power right now is not to spread outside of this god coffin. You must only speak of it with I.
Thoric,
Yes?
I do not normally like information not being passed on, but perhaps we should hold off providing this information and writing it down until after the situation has been resolved.
I can accept that. As
We will not.
you can see, Seneschal, I'm, as a follower of Bahamut, information and recording it is one of our main tenets. However, a delayed recording, however delayed that may be, is acceptable.
He gestures over his shoulder, and you see a knight, which also has a Bahamut pendant hanging around their neck, who is writing down everything you guys have said quickly with ink and parchment.
Nice.
Oh my god, they're gonna have a write-off. See who can write faster. But these cannot be no mere, not just a normal tribal invasion. Man, the Sacred Bastion combatants were very capable. It was easier to break down a wall with your bare hands than get a hit on them sometimes. This is something different.
It is, and highly worrying. The Grand Master dispatched me to Heat Shade to oversee the change of operation. He was clear in his orders that I was to do what I can to alleviate the throat cutting and robbery of these tribals in the area. We have killed maybe 200, 300 by my knights, but there doesn't seem to be an end to them. There's more than we imagined out here. Whatever commands them, whatever binds them to come down here, the head must be cut off from the snake's body before the poison and venom can set in.
Is there a unified attack then? And from what the little information we could gather, sounded like a disparate groups of them, that there was no clear organization, simply different tribes.
This isn't a battle. of large armies like it was in the wars. This is small teams of scouts finding each other, maybe killing 5 or 6 each, and then dispersing back into the plains, back into the expanse. These tribals, for all their great many crimes against our gods, they are proficient warriors in fight and escape tactics, ones that we pioneered. I loathe to admit it, but there are some things we might even learn from them fighting against them. Experts at infiltration and in escaping, but we see the remains of what they leave. Disembowelment, dismemberment, decapitations, slaves taken, witches. It is not a foe that people in the south have had to deal with for nearly 4 centuries, since the road of weavers was plagued by them.
What is it that drives them? It cannot just be. This is not a normal raiding behavior. This is something different. There must be something driving them this way.
There's a thought behind it, a strategy.
There must be 5 or 6 different tribes, what we've been able to identify. But I don't know if they're truly united or just making the best of a tenuous situation. You speak about them being pushed.
His body language tenses.
Those tribes, for the past however many years, decades, have been slowly pushed westward out of the Kalmarsha plains by the Veleti Empire. They are expansionists, like our arcanist foes to the north. They've spent many, many, many lives pushing west and west and west, closer through Kalmarsha. I'm sure that has had an effect on these tribals coming into our lands. But as far as scouts and diplomatic negotiations go with the Empire, I still determine they are at least 400 miles off the Slumbering Bluffs. So it's not like they are pushed between a rock and a hard place.
If they were closer, then the desperation would make these actions make sense. To risk the mountains, to risk the sacred bastion, to get over here. Desperation to save their own way of life would make sense. But it should not be at this stage yet. Why?
It shouldn't. The Veleti Empire, for all their dark dealings with beings from the underworld for their powers, they're a small fry for now. We must keep our eyes north. But now we have distracted attention to the east against these tribes.
Is it possible that Barazir is using them as some sort of middlemen?
It is very possible. What we know of Barazir, all she cares about are 2 things: gold and riches, and her offspring. Blue dragons are unlike red or green or black. They cared about their own kin more than any other type of scaled beings. Even metallic dragons, even the platinum dragon Bahamut. What blue dragons have is compassion for their own kin.
A worthy
She-
trait.
She would see her children cared for, safe, more than used as battle fodder for tribal raids. And we haven't saw any agents or known minions of Barazir accompanying the tribals yet. I don't know if we have been missing them or they're even more hidden than we thought.
If she does care for her children as she should, then you even instigating these tribal wars against us would be putting them at risk. that perhaps she would not like to do.
Unless the reward for risking our children was so great that her greed for riches and gems was being satiated.
Perhaps, but if that were the case, she did not yet benefit too much from staying out of the fight. It is possible that while she is not intending to stop the raids, could be that she is also not yet the one instigating, but not know. She provided us those soldiers back alive, and she clearly had no need to do so. It is possible that she is just a simple bystander and is simply taking advantage of the situation, but not directly responsible.
Angel, no dragon is a simple bystander in matters such as these, nor a creature of Barazir's age and power. As I said, they delight in family, to being safe and gold, but a creature like that cannot simply exist without a drive.
But until we know more, we cannot take any steps against her. If any steps were taken against Barazir before we have specific proof, then we will be the ones to break the pact.
Exactly. We cannot risk a military engagement. I don't have the men. I have 50. We may all die, and 10 are left, even if we slay the dragon. It's not worth leaving this area defenseless, even with the chaos that is in Breakwater, and no Archzealot to command such forces.
Too much would be lost. No, that is not something we can afford. You did very well to not allow that situation to deteriorate. I was admittedly quite concerned that something would happen and shots would be fired, but you held your men well. But still, we do not know enough. Oh, sorry. I speak up myself.
No.
Looks towards Thorek and Hendrik and Torkel.
Any more contributions?
If Barazir cares enough about her children, because of the theory you mentioned, perhaps there's some riches enough that she's willing to sacrifice some to gain those riches. The fact that we know where one of her children are is... we could use it as leverage in case of emergency. Although it may just anger her. But us going over there, we would be seen as agents, and as such, she would retaliate. What are the plans for reinforcing the border?
What I have, the Grand Master has the majority of the Raising Flame within the Viper Hold and the Castillo. I cannot state exactly his desires or whims of military command, but I have what I have, and it is just enough to keep the roads safe enough for trade to flow between Rackmere and Breakwater. I wish I could spare more men or have more men, but I can't. That's how it will be.
Is that why the mercenaries that Amanda was talking to you? Is there a agreement between you two?
Rolls his head back in his chair.
Mercenaries only motivated by coin. Amanda,
he leans forward in his chair.
Amanda and the Raven Swords. They're a mercenary company, enjoyed and trusted by many Archzealots. But this one has grown fat and greedy. They slay maybe 10, 12 dragons a year, sell their hides at a great price, sell their teeth, their organs, their blood. She's a very rich woman. There's only one thing she is interested in, and that's killing Blauergier, and taking the treasure and the hoard for herself. Maybe for the great status and superiority within a Raven Sword, or to donate to her guild. But, as you know, the Raven Sword are treated as, in effect, envoys or agents by archzealots. So even she, if she had the power and the demand, would have to make sure that if she went after Balazir, it would be final. For if the dragon survived, it would be all of the southern lands that would pay the price.
No, we cannot allow that to happen. There's
Well,
too much risk. Too many people would be harmed.
while Barozir is the big threat, the current threat right now seems to be the tribesfolk.
Yes, and Amanda, her agreement is to hunt monsters within the region, not to deal with tribes. She has some 20 men, maybe 15, and she uses them to hunt Krugvix, Cyclops, wild beasts. She cannot spare or refuses to give any towards patrols of taking down tribals. That is not where she gets paid. So I do understand, but I'm not happy about her contempt for the crisis of going to southern areas.
I'm just gonna roll a bit of what would it be? Intelligence, history, or wisdom, and trying to think of some kind of, because like it's Thork would have an idea on ways on how to handle the tribesfolk. However, I feel like it'll be hit or miss for him whether he would actually be able to think of it. So which one?
History of sentient people or whatever, it'd be history or like knowledge about them.
Wisdom would
use
probably
like
be
nature to understand animals, or arcane to understand.
Yeah, history would be like, right, what peace agreements were made in the past? How have they worked? Wisdom would be like, oh, why did these peace agreements have to come to effect? Did they fail? What crises of people made them fail or succeed?
I wasn't sure because wasn't sure it was going with the whole of here's what I learned about combat and what to do, or here's how I feel about what they're doing. My gut tells me this.
Yeah.
Your call, Cypher. Intelligence or wisdom?
I'll say, do you have proficiency in history?
Yes.
The apostate tribes to the eastern range of the Summerline Bluffs aren't seen as citizens or peoples that you would formally interact with. The Knoll tribes, various lizard clans, giant holds, they would be considered citizens of the Concord. These apostate tribes are not. They're seen as interlopers and raiders and ravagers. So to prescribe them the treatment of giving them like a formal agreement would be untenable. It'd be treating a people who don't even worship your gods as kin, as like-minded people, and that's just not acceptable. Secondly, with emergency in history, this has never really happened before. It hasn't happened in a long time, like 400 or 500 years. This hasn't happened. That tribals have been managing to get so deep into Concord lands before. And then thirdly, with his emergency, the agreement with Barazir 60, 80 years ago, not exactly the exact date, but that has held true. And because of the agreement, trade has grown. Cities like Rackmere have got bigger because the dragon has been harassing the roads, sending their agents out. But as Hendrik did discover, she's still getting recent enough coinage from somewhere. Now, it's up to you whether you think what she did was intentional or not.
We can't assume motive right now. So right now, Thork is just because Seneschal only has so many men. Like, right. And this is him now talking now to Seneschal.
Yeah.
To defend against these tribesfolk, we're gonna have to think like the tribesfolk and move like the tribesfolk. We don't have enough people to guard everything, but it sounds like you have enough people to have eyes on enough areas. and be able to send word of tribesfolk movements. That seems like the best use of men to me.
I'm aware. We do have a plan in motion, one that I'd be willing to enact. But the Grandmaster has deferred the offer, the choice, until an Arzealot within Breakwater is appointed. I cannot make such a impacting decision of the landscape without his orders. We possess vast amounts of venom extract. I theorized that if we had enough agents, we could poison rivers, water tributaries. If there's no water to drink for these tribals, they would have to leave. But I cannot commit such an order without confirmation from the Golden Council, and by effect an Arzealot.
That could also be
Poison
seen
the
as an
land?
attack. Yeah, that could also be seen as attack on Barasier territory.
It would be only on the western side of the river, where these tribes are encroaching into, that is recognized as our lands per the pact. So we'd be poisoning our own lands, but at least ridding these tribals from wanting to stay in them.
Perhaps,
move.
or it could make them more aggressive, more likely to attack major towns and things of that nature. In doing so, we need to understand why specifically they're attacking. It is land and food and water. Now, we can provide food and water. If they are running from something, then as despite our differences, we could offer them protection. But if, without understanding why they're doing what they do now, such a drastic move could cause more harm than good.
Well, why would a people running from something drag all of what they claim and take back over the other side of the river to the mountains? That's roughly what we're able to spy without angling Barasier anymore. They have hastily constructed boats. They pile slaves and gold and whatever food they can find and go back across the river. It is unknown to us what they do.
I would agree with you, Learnock, that they could be in trouble if they weren't taking slaves and gold.
No, you are right. Slaves and gold can always be useful, but it is not something which we can stand regardless. If they are taking slaves and gold, it might be easier to ambush these convoys, these moving groups. And when during that, they will not be anywhere near it. If they have slaves, then they will not be as mobile. That might be the opportunity to attack, but that involves leaving people to be taken in the first place.
We don't have to actively leave anyone to be taken. If, Seneschal, your men can spot where they're moving and where they're attacking in these lands to take slaves, then we can plan an ambush. We just have to hide ourselves somewhere between where they attack and the river.
I understand your thoughts on this, but we have killed 300.
Looks over towards the Bahamut priest writing. 378.
378. As of today?
As of 2 hours ago.
As of 2 hours ago. There's no signs of it stopping. Even if we planned some great attack, it would be a group of maybe 20, 30 at most. You wipe them out, more might come. There's something motivating them to come. We must stop this. Turn their heels. If people are charging down here to find a safer life, they don't do it with weapon in hand and cut down babes from a woman's chest for safety.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, Leonard will actually pale at that. Like, oh, okay. He underestimated the severity.
Edric
Have
does
we
not
taken-
pale at that.
Have we taken any of them alive?
He looks at you like someone's asked the right question.
We have tried. They do not allow it. And even when they rouse, we have to keep their hands bound for what they'll do to themselves. And they only, on compunction of speaking the truth, they only rave about their deceitful, disgusting fellow gods. Nothing relevant to what we need to know.
That means that either these beings are just as devoted to their gods to refuse to speak even under capture, or there is something else, something that they are willing to die for.
They're gods.
Yes,
Something. What if something or someone has roused their belief in their gods? Something has shown them that they are right in what they do to such a degree now that they are attacking, that they think that they have their gods on their side.
That would make sense. It would explain the devotion, it would explain the renewed push here. These people have been pushing on the boundary for years. It's the reason the Sacred Bastion exists in the first place. But not being pushed like this.
Never like this. As I said, they have lost great numbers of very experienced knights.
What a
What was it your people were speaking to Bar or wish to speak to Bar Razir about?
We constructed envelopes to find her through divine means. We just start a dialogue of why she's allowing such things. It started when the first tribes appeared. For weeks, we labored. Then we had to send actual communications to her own mind. And she didn't like that a lot. So then I sent 2 envoys to explain the perilous situation that these people, our people, are now in. And they clearly were cut, or had to defend themselves when they found out what they were trying to say to Balrazir, and Balrazir wasn't really happy about it.
We speak to them, see what the state was when they went in. I imagine they must have been in Barazir's lands. They might be able to tell us something about what's going on.
They will be getting debriefed as soon as possible, and you can choose to speak to them, but there is a process, a debrief, and a assessment of their health by one of our Arias healers. They must go through that spell, the draconic spell that she cast on them will have done a number. Give them a few days to recover.
No, you are right. Actually, because Lennox was actually inspecting them, they seemed exhausted, if I remember right, but not overly harmed.
They were probably like, they were bloody, they're probably at half hit points, but they definitely had at least 2 to 3 levels of exhaustion.
Okay. So they were actually like hurt as well. Interesting. So it wasn't just the spell.
Although
that wouldn't explain the hit points.
Until we hear from them, we can't assume whether they were hurt before they got to her.
No. I completely agree. But it means that it probably means they saw combat of some kind. So it wasn't like it was just okay. They seemed exhausted, tired, hurt, but not the mark of Barazir. Did not seem like the Barazir would have left. She would have left more obvious markings should she have wished harm on them.
Correct.
But no,
Which
you're right.
My eyes were drawn to when I saw them. You have the mark of the petal. You must speak with them. See what they know.
He looks towards some of the functionaries in the corner of the room.
We must. If you have any further thoughts, air them now. I must go shortly.
To me, I've taken part in a number of defenses, number of holding back the horde, so to speak. Dropping communication, this attack by this third party seemingly out of nowhere. I firmly believe the tribes are being puppeted, knowingly or not, by Barazir.
Perhaps, but even if but we can't assume that, nor can we act on it until we have more proof.
I agree, but that is what I'll be
If we
holding in
can-
mind as we proceed.
We can go
Back
ahead
and forth
with this as a
theory.
possibility, but until we have anything, we cannot. A being such as that, it's not something we can jump to any conclusions. It could perhaps, if we were to take something overly aggressive, it could in fact, and she was not already responsible, we could push her to assist them. We need to tread very carefully.
Oh, I agree. I'm just stating what I believe. The
I
motivation
have
is.
another.
Go
I have an alternative possibility. It could very well be a scheme. Absolutely. However, it could be a series of small things. For instance, we are seeing hundreds of these raiders come over, but they're not that organized. They're not as one group or under one leader as far as we know. It could just be a systematic issue. If their lands are having issues with farming for some reason, they can't get food or whatever, or monsters are causing issue where they can't really continue their way of life, raiding would be a pretty natural path for a bunch of people like that to go. The dragon may just be taking a cut. We know the dragon is getting money, new money, and it could just be in the form of him letting these people raid a enemy, whatever.
I don't.
Raiding a mutual enemy and allowing that just to take a cut. Or it's a conspiracy.
What if this is a bit different? What if what she is doing, if she is, let's say she is not actively assisting them, if she is simply allowing them pass through her land, she is not actively breaking our pact in doing so. I'm assuming it's our pact did not say that no one can travel her lands and she must protect us.
There's basically an agreement of no force up against force, but there's nothing in the pact to say that he has to disallow enemies of the Concord within.
Yeah, exactly. So she's not breaking the rules in any way. If she's just allowing them to pass.
Correct.
What if she
even if she's taking a cut? I don't know if she's breaking the.
No, she technically.
Because she's just
As long as she's not part of active hostilities, I think she's within the letter. But what if she knows? We would make an assumption that she was aiding them, and it means that if we did take any action, we have broken the pact, and it means that she is then free to do whatever she wishes.
You keep assuming I want to take action against her.
No, I'm not assuming that, but I'm just saying this confusion, this want could be exactly what she wants. If she turns us into the aggressor, then that is both getting what she wants and ruining any reputation or the reputation we have to hold a deal. If we are known as oath breakers and pact breakers, will greatly harm any chance of peace in the future.
Oh, but we should keep all options on the table in regards to the motivation behind, because if those tribes are knowingly or unknowingly being used by Barazir to attack these lands, then that would count as an orchestrated action by her, thus breaking the pact. We can't assume that, but that's what I have in mind. We can only defend right now against those tribesfolk that are in these lands.
There's too many possibilities for us to make any judgment on one. But yes, we should focus primarily at this time on these tribals getting and protecting our people, our lands.
Anything else, Torkel, you want to add?
Is okay. I'm just okay. But I'd like to address the record keeper for the Seneschal.
Yeah, the Bahamut priest looks at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of the caravans that have been hit and what they have in them?
We have a rough list of things that did not arrive. Yes. Okay. And he goes to pull out a scroll.
Yeah, I would like to go over that. I know it's going to be it might be complicated. I'll spend tonight doing it.
Seneschal says,
let him see what he needs to see.
And the priest of Bahamut, knight, like, yes, okay. So while you're doing that, you go to look over those notes, and it'll be pretty well explained to you. The other three of you, Torkel, you've asked a question.
I think that we are dealing with the long-lived, clever dragon that has given itself multiple outs. I do not want to jump to conclusions, but the worst case scenario is that she is sitting in her lands orchestrating all of this, the invasion of her children, the influx of these dangerous tribes, and she anticipates their trepidation and their lack of desire to engage, allowing us to run around without any clear plan. We cannot act without having a firm grasp on the situation, and that plays into allowing further destruction. The tribe seems to be an imminent and direct issue, and probably should be dealt with first, but we have Rakmir and other things to deal with.
Okay. So while this happens, Hendrik, you get a brief scan list. There's about 6 or so caravans which have been accounted for that have left from Breakwater to go towards Rakmir. And some that have came towards Rakmir, but most of those have been prevented from being fully raided. A few people have died, but nothing has been taken. The ones that are missing headed from Breakwater to Rakmir, there's a gem caravan, basically of gems, like just rough cut gems, bound for the Nedlin infrastructure building for identity stones, all that kind of stuff. Gold and silver and materials is the other 3, like basically gold and silver materials for metalworking and all this stuff as well. The 5th just seemed to be a poor family caravan just trying to make a way up north. Just people just moving. The 6th, last one you see. One of the ones that was in the middle of this, but the one that draws your attention. It was a Valen burial caravan that were transporting bodies yet to be cremated within the Ash Sanctum in Rakmir. About 10 of them.
And like they took the bodies?
They took the bodies.
Okay, that is very fucking interesting.
And that's a various crimes. Mistreating the dead, that's a various thing. And what's alarming is that they expected the bodies to be torn out of their holdings. You know, there's spells you can cast to stop a body from rotting or turning. They expected to find, in the report, they expected to find them basically smashed against rocks or broken, but the caskets they were held in were broken into. No sign of the bodies. And they just seem to be miscellaneous people. A carpenter, a bricklayer, a couple of just menial workers. Not even anyone important, but bodies taken.
Well, that's fucking weird. Okay.
Seneschal kind of gets a look from one of the officer types of.
Well, this has been a very illuminating meeting. Come knock on the doors of the God Coffin. Shall we acquire further attention? I have more patrols than direct. We are trying to get a lead on exactly which way Battersea left. Try and ascertain a pattern to how she may arrive in the future. It has been a great, intriguing day today. I thank you for the company and your kindness in sharing your information with me. I wish you well on the path of petals.
And you're asked to leave.
Yeah.
Very well.
As you leave the God Coffin into the barn, you get a few looks from some knights sharpening swords and putting armaments on, returning them. That's about it. Where do you go now?
Look will actually be looking, probably head out on a little bit of a walk to clear his head and also look for Sophia.
What time is it?
About now,
Also,
probably it's
yeah,
about like coming up to 10 p.m. something like that. After all this has happened.
That's where I go. I go to bed.
Oh my god! I just remembered all this conversation. Hendrick's been in like a bathrobe.
Yep.
Yep.
Ultra serious conversation, and meanwhile, pink and fluffy. Nice. All right. Anyway, sorry. That it just struck me. It was over.
Hey, when you gotta relax, you gotta relax. We're all a
Yeah,
stressful
no.
place. After walking back to the guest house, some people like, Scott, what happened to the dragon out there? And people are saying, oh, sorry, you go to the Seneschal, this and that. It's this point when you start to enter kind of the drinking area. You better just shrug off. Most of the annoying people are trying to like find out your story and this and that. And some of the brass shields basically get people to leave you alone. You see Orly drinking. And Orly, what does that look like to them?
It's been a long time, right?
Maybe like 25 minutes since you left the party.
I'm
Utterly sloshed.
definitely fucked. I'm
You see, and
What, you bought a hooker?
amongst other things.
you see Orly leaned up against one of the exterior walls, going up into the guest house, kind of exterior stairwell, with an empty bottle of Drake's in, vodka at his feet, and then the second one half drank. Does not look good. And you see a figure leaning against, or sitting on a chair, just watching him. You see Sophia, undisguised, just watching Orly from about 50 feet away. Kind of just has this worried look on her face.
I would like to go and speak to Sophia.
I'll
Yeah,
go
she
with-
sees you approach.
I'll do it too. But DM,
Walk up to, yeah.
I'd like to cast Prestidigitation to get the mud off of my knees.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah.
And then I would like to change my bathrobe into. I would like to magically transform it into a drinking jacket, which I can do.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Yeah, it just this nice in fashion, actually probably ahead of the fashion curve a little bit, like just drops down. It's got nice, like well polished, like ivory buttons on it.
Red
and,
velvet, red
red
velvet,
velvet
for sure.
Yeah, awesome. I love it.
Did you just do that in a crowded inn in front of everyone?
He speaks as a
I
divine
show-
word. It's fine.
Okay.
I show him my my badge.
Here's my badge of I'm allowed to do this. Go away.
Okay, so you walk over to Sophia, and she sees a group of you, and she's just like kind of hand on her chin, just like leaning against one of the armrests of the table, just watching Orly. She's got her legs crossed. She's got her hair down. You see a cat like laying on her lap. She's like slowly stroking the cat, just watching Orly. Oh, well, how did that go? Looked intense.
It was an illuminating conversation, but thank you for watching over Ollie. What has happened?
I don't know what's up with him, but I tried to speak to him after the dragon left, and he Looked like he'd seen a ghost. He was all white. I think he nearly tried to throw up. Once the doors just opened, he went back into the bar, bought a bottle of the strongest stuff they'd give him, and just started drinking as fast as he could. He's finished off one bottle, he's halfway through the next one already. So I just thought I'd keep an eye on him until you guys showed up.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate. I'm not too sure what is in his history, but I think it clearly involves dragons and subnature.
He did say something. I did get a little close covertly. He was whispering stuff under his breath, and he said something about, he said, curse you, Silveras. I don't know what that means to anything to you,
Silveras?
but Silveras.
Hey, on an off chance, does the name mean anything? Like,
Make a history check.
okay. There is absolutely no fucking chance, but
On this one as well, I'm curious.
that's a fucking.
Oh no, Toxie.
Can I roll?
Sure.
Well, yes, Lurnok, you have heard of it.
Oh my god, that's like the third one this session.
Torkel, you can roll a history check if you want as well.
That's so unlucky, man.
Dude. Oh well. Listen, I'm just in the nicest possible. I am very glad it's happening here.
Toxie.
I'm glad it's happening here, and it's not happening in like the
fight against the dragon.
The fight against the big bad.
Next session.
So-
Just you wait.
So Lyranok, Hendrik, and Thoric, you've never heard this name before. You recognize the name, but you haven't heard it said out loud. You only read it in the Vardian Chronicle. A couple months ago, you read a report in the paper. One of the great families in Oakhart captured a green dragon named Soveras and was using it within their dueling pits and spectator arenas to train their young family scions in the ways of combat and fighting dragons. That's what you recognize, Torkel. When you read or hear the name Soveras, you connect the dots. Oh, that's that young green dragon that's in Oakhart.
Yeah, actually, that makes sense for Leonard to have no idea as well. Then.
Weird.
God damn it. But
Is it all they ever told us where he's from? No.
No, he hasn't. No, but
dude, we don't even know what his actual fucking name is.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
We're still not sure if it's actually Ollie. Okay. No, I do not know the name, but still, it seems whatever has transpired tonight seems to have triggered something in him. We will keep an eye on him. But that is not, I guess, that is not the only thing I should be grateful for you for. I am very glad that you took the lead in our earlier conversation. Not that I do not think I would have been able to get anywhere near as effective, as good a job as you had done.
yeah, she nods. Says, "Well, I'm all out of my abilities. I'm going to go find a bed to sleep in," and then like pulls over her satchel and then tucks the cat into it. Goes, "It's okay. We'll find a bed soon."
Before you do, have you eaten?
I've a bit, but I'll find something before I go.
No, I will get you dinner. I will insist. You should eat with us. It will. I know sometimes what we do is a lonely job, but it's good to cherish the moments we can. I will get you dinner. Just wait a moment. Dinner's gonna go and see if he can.
Okay.
If the cooks are still making food.
Yeah, there would be like still this late. Yeah, like so in the guest house.
Oh, I think I was really more like the dragon possibly attacking might have panicked them. But...
There's some stuff that's just barely still just got an ounce of heat in it. Yeah, so you head off. Mark off 8 copper pieces then.
Can I just do a silver?
Sure.
I'll get something nicer. But you know what? What about everyone else? Is everyone else hungry?
Oh yeah.
Fuck it.
Okay.
I'll spend 5 silver to get us all some food.
Okay,
I'll-
everyone gets
Yeah.
food.
I'll spend another 3 silver because I need more.
I mean,
So
Hendrik
what you
would
get
do it
given,
food, yeah.
what you get given is free range goat wraps. They would be like kebabs. Like kebabs with this lovely garlic mayonnaise sauce, like fresh lemon juice, like squeezed to the top of it, and it's just delicious.
Oh,
It's just
if I'm spending extra, can I get the recipe?
no.
Good luck. Damn it!
Yeah, no.
Is it a close guarded family secret? I'm offended that you asked.
Gold.
When we get to the Library of Bahamut, what I'll do is I'll bring you in and we'll go to the cooking section. How's that?
Oh my god, sold. Let's go.
All right.
Um,
So, does your party approach Orly and give him some food as well?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
And
set.
I am.
I'm the Hulk
And then
meme
I
holding
take
out the
the-
burrito to him sitting
the taco.
there. The taco. Just him sitting there.
Goat.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry. It was more when I came over, but I got hungry on the ways.
That's all right. All right. Yeah. So,
And then I
Orly, you guys all go get
cure him of his drunkenness. I will cast Greater Restoration.
You fucker!
Wait,
Wait, greater?
lesser.
wait,
Lesser.
I don't have that. I don't have that lesser restoration.
Christ! I was gonna greater restoration.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast like a 5th level
Yeah.
spell.
So
I think.
what happens is Orly, as you're sitting there with the bottle in hand, you see your allies come over and you don't think anything of it, and you're just spewing in your mind of thought, fuck this, what was the point? I'm all the way down south of no leads. And then Torkel rests his hand on your shoulder, and you go to look up to tell him to piss off, and in that instance he casts a spell, and your mind fog immediately elucidates and disappears, and the taste of alcohol in your mouth becomes less desirable, less fresh, and you slap your tongue in your gob, like, oh god, this stuff tastes horrible, and you're instantly sober.
Great. Thank you.
Here's a
You are
kebab.
better company when you are cognizant, my friend. We have much to discuss.
Fine. I'll join them.
Okay. And do you guys just give him the rundown of everything discussed with the Seneschal?
Yeah.
Not here. I imagine you go to a room.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was like. We're gonna crawl in. I don't think we should. Sorry, if we can get.
We just start screaming at the top of his lungs.
There's a fucking dragon. God of
Yeah.
Any time someone says something that would have broken the oath we just fucking made to not discuss this, Henry's just like, no.
Okay, that's great. So a room to yourself is 2 gold pieces, or if you want a fine room, it's 4. I imagine you guys want the privacy.
I don't remember. Did we pay?
Only Hendrik is paid for him, and that was
Okay,
paid
cool.
for by Thoric.
Um,
4 gold
The-
pieces.
4 gold pieces for a fine room. You can get like a sharing room if you want for 4. You can get a sharing room with 6 beds in it, a large fine room
One room all between all of us
if you wanted.
is 5 gold.
so
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
So like
probably-
1 gold each makes things easier.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do that. It's better for us to have one room between us, right? Than
Yeah.
Then
Thork promised to pay for everyone's rooms.
I had to pay for everyone's drinks.
yeah.
Although
Only
I am,
because you're
we
really
don't
milking it.
I'm actually going to get a room by myself. I think,
Okay.
mainly because
He's got the disposable income now.
also I'm big.
That's fine.
You
We got
fart
spare
terribly in
bed.
sleep.
All right, fair. You know that one's acceptable then.
Excellent. So mark off. I guess 5 of your whoever's paying for the larger room, mark off 5, and then Thoric, mark off 4 for the room you just want yourself.
Cool. So that'll be 9. So that'll bring me back to there. Cool.
Excellent. All right. Your party is assembled. Do you want Sophia to join you as well?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Leonok is absolutely including her within.
She looks so like she devoured that goat lamb kebab so fast. She's like, there's nothing like this in Rakmir. I really needed to leave home more. I didn't know
It's
food
good.
could be so nice.
It is good to treat yourself. There is many things to take joy in with food and people. It can be easy to lose sight of that when isolated from them. I can go and get you another if you wish.
I don't. Okay, well, we'll do it after. You guys should all catch up. Looks towards Orly, who just has a sour face on him, I imagine, Orly.
I just like they've been probably trying to catch me up, which I literally haven't even been paying attention. I'm like
Yeah.
staring through them.
Do you say what you recognize, Torkel, to him?
Not just now.
Okay. Yeah. So
He's paying a lot of attention to Orly at the moment. Like,
yeah, make an insight check.
he has general demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
An insight check.
20? Yeah, I'll just fucking tell you. It's guilt and it's shame.
Okay.
Oh, I'm very familiar with those emotions, but
Yeah, he doesn't act on it. It's too public, so he's not gonna say anything in front of the group at the moment.
Okay. So Orly, whether or not you're taking all information, but you're left. You have a meal. You have a tankard of water in there. And yeah, you guys have room, the bunk. What do you do?
Is Sophia still here?
She's still here, yeah.
I'll give her my plate of food.
Okay. She goes, well, thank you very much. It doesn't seem like you have to go out. And then she just starts to devour the other.
Oh, no.
It's just me and her. Just Dork and her beside each other, just wolfing down food, Goku style.
For a smaller woman, like, she can put it away. All right.
I think Orly was offering her, like, hey, do you want half it? And then started just
That's a fucking cookie monster, bro.
Yeah.
You want the rest of my? It's already gone.
Yeah.
So, with all that aside, and everyone's caught up with what the conversation just happened, right?
Yeah.
Orly?
So, yeah.
The other matter of business is, do we need a name?
No.
Yes, for a name. No, we don't need a name?
I
Okay.
don't think we need a name as such.
Probably not at this point.
Okay, as a character though, Cypher, would it be easier for you for any reason if we do have a name, or is this like, does it not actually matter?
If you're going to continue, on the path of petals, it would be helpful.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
If it makes things easier for Cypher, we might actually want a name then.
Until we come up with a real name, we could just literally call ourselves the Posse.
You really want this name, don't you?
Because it's technically correct.
Like, right, many things are technically correct.
Yes,
You could call,
and those
you could call the
good.
group Haphazard Mess, and it would still be appropriate.
I'm going for that one, actually.
Haphazard Mess?
Haphazard Mess. If we say haphazard in a really interesting tone, and
Okay, fuck it. How about haphazard? We're haphazard. Temporarily, we're haphazard.
Well, we'll figure out a name in the future. I don't think it's a urgent thing, but we will.
What's a good descriptive word for absolutely bumbling your way through life somehow?
What's haphazard?
We are not delaying a temporary name.
If you want a name for bumbling through things but somehow still managing to succeed, just call the group Thorak.
I don't like it, but it's better than nothing. I just think haphazard's fine.
Temeritus. It is literally haphazard in Latin.
Isn't demeritus also means like you get a bad mark?
Yeah, like a demerit.
What do you think? Temeritus with a T.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Not with a D.
Also, I can't believe I actually
Latin,
googled this for a joke.
Demerit means a quality that lacks merit or deserves blame or fault.
Demeritus is a T.
I know, but
anyway,
demeritus isn't.
But
yeah. Temerity. That's boldness, audacious, isn't it?
But at the moment, I do not know how much we can really do here. I mean, we could, when the defense, go seek out these tribals, but do not think that would be an adequate solution at the moment.
Already losing patience, will just kind of like sigh. And what about the mother and child? Have we just forgotten about them?
No, that
No.
I think we should continue to break water at the moment. See what we can do for them. We cannot afford to lose this trail now, and there's not much we can do here.
Agreed. I mean,
Agreed.
the knights here are killing the raiders. And there's other business we have to do at the next city, Breakwater.
That
There's actually a lot of suspicious stuff going on in Breakwater. We really need to figure out what's going on.
Breakwater definitely seems to be the connection point for a lot, because even the Seneschal mentioned, I think it was like he couldn't complete his plan without word from
An art zealot, which,
the
as far as
art
you
zealot of
guys know, there
Breakwater.
hasn't been one reappointed since the previous one died a few weeks ago.
Yes, which is also suspicious, because we don't know what's going on with that. Because as long as there's not an arch zealot, there's a whole lot of things which can't properly be done in Breakwater, I think, because that's effectively the leader.
Well, let's go
Correct.
improperly do them then.
So I think we should continue to Breakwater. It's a key to a lot of other things. Also, you shared the fact that like the bodies were taken. Or have you not shared about that yet?
Yeah, I was wondering about that as well.
Man, my religion compels me not to.
Okay, fair.
Well, let me see here if I'd actually get in trouble. Let me pull up my contract.
It was already well. This is one of these things. It was written down by a priest of Bahamut, so
Yes, but it was written down by a priest of Bahamut who had security clearance for a lot of
Correct.
stuff that shouldn't be known.
yeah.
We're literally investigating with you.
But no, I know. I'm just giving you shit. I will mention that I went through the thing and there were hidden things that had value and things that didn't have value. But the fact that they stole the bodies is really fucking weird.
If there's bodies being stolen, then maybe
It has no use to someone who is hungry nor someone who is poor. It doesn't can help.
But it would be useful for necromancer.
Exactly. There seems to be more of a reach to
have they had
our
any connection
primary
with
target.
Sorry, what was that, Ryan? Oh, anyway, okay.
I think Ryan cut out.
Yeah, I thought it was as well.
Sorry. I was just saying but we haven't had any other connection with necromancy with any of this specific problem. We have run into necromancers. We are tracking a necromancer. Totally agree. But we haven't seen any connection between that problem and this problem.
The tribes could quite literally just be a distraction.
But it could also explain why they why they wish to take people. Anyway, there's still too many unknowns.
Yeah.
Every form of attack that we've come across now has felt like a distraction for something else to be done.
Yeah, except for the one I stumbled in too.
Yeah, but
I hate this. Let's go to Breakwater and break some skulls. That'll solve one of our problems, surely.
I mean, it'll solve the problem of us not being in Breakwater yet. Very nicely.
So at this point, you hear a thump, 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 heavy knock on your door.
Oh,
I'll go answer it.
Oh, okay.
An inspector.
Housekeeping.
You open up the door, and you see a familiar form standing there. Obviously, Sophia's joined with you. You see the Ravensword mercenary named Amanda, tiefling, at the door.
Shit.
She
Where did I know her from?
She was the
out
one
there with us.
She was out there with the Seneschal.
Real quick,
right.
Cypher. Whilst
Yeah.
that door is just being opened and I notice, I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
kind of like put my hand out. I assume I'm sitting beside Sophia. I've just given her a plate
Sure.
of food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna literally outstretch my kind of hand out of view from the door, but as in kind of like, gimme fucking, and
Okay.
like I'm looking for my stone essentially, but I can't say that. So
Yeah, she sees you, and then Casely reaches into a close pocket and gives it to you.
cool.
Mm.
Thank you.
As you open up the door, Hendrik, she says, "Good evening. Is this the quarters of the party who just spoke with the seneschal?"
Yes. Maybe. Who is the? What is this about?
My name is Amanda Lima. I am an unkindness leader within the Ravensword Company, currently under contract and coinage tenure on behalf of the Archzealot of Breakwater. At least his old say so. Your group was involved with the Blue Dragon outside. I have an offer I would like to make to you.
Okay, hold on. Thoric and Torkel, get up here. This is your conversation, not mine.
You're dismissing her.
Oh no,
No.
I'm just like, well,
I think he's getting away.
you wait here. You wait here. I turn around to Thoric and Torkel. They're in the room. And I'm just like, you guys. She wants to see you.
Okay.
Okay.
The two of you walk
Approach
up.
the door.
She says, "Evening." The
Good evening.
dragon, Barazir, looked at you with her third eye, tried to study the two of you. That's interesting. May I come inside and speak more?
These is something they attest to be private. Their companions are making their last preparations to go to sleep.
Is
I'll
there
be
another
brief.
like empty room to like an empty
There'd be
room around?
there's like an
There's
adjacent
yours.
small closet. There's also
There's
yours,
your room.
Thoric.
Oh yeah, sure. That's my room. We can go to my room.
Okay, the three of you, the two of you joining Amanda, go to the room.
The one orally getting
Yeah.
inquisitions when he's rambling around for his fucking illegal
That's
items.
the best time.
Yeah. Nice quarters. You must have been well paid. Looks around the room.
Not by the seneschal.
Exactly. The seneschal is a very pious, well-educated, hardened warrior. He seeks to keep order here, and I don't want to undermine that. But as you can see from the hills and the mountains around you and the poor knolls outside, order isn't exactly what's happening here now. There needs to be a hammer of order brought down on that Drake for her involvement in all this. I was wondering if you and your troop might be interested in assisting experienced dragon slayers in, well, getting rid of Barazir for good.
We will need more information before we can agree to attack the dragon.
I have a highly skilled team of individuals who their life's work has been killing dragons, lesser, wormlings, youngs. A few of them have braved and survived an assault against an adult. Will be testing metal, I won't lie. But my advantage lays in the fact that I have a way in to her lane.
I'm doing an insight check on this one.
Yeah,
Can
definitely.
I do as well, please?
Yeah, 100%.
Suss her out.
2 or assisted? What are we doing?
Thoric already rolled one, so just you roll one in the
okay,
regular one.
Yep.
16, 13. Thoric, we'll start with you. This is a career mercenary who is used to making business arrangements, and she's keeping her true feelings guarded. Torkel, this is an experienced individual who is used to keeping cards close to their chest, and you get the sense there's a lot more information that she knows that you'd like to know, but she is not alluding to it at all. She's calm, she's collected, she's simply offering what she wants to say, and that's what you get the sense from her.
Okay. The information that we would require would be some sort of reason or causus belli to invade this dragon's land and subject it to harm. One of our party is very understanding. He does not believe that any creature is born with any malice in its heart. Why would Barazir deserve to be attacked by the dragon slayer? What is going on? What do you know?
Make a persuasion check.
Not very good at these. Persuasion.
15. Okay. A calmness descends on her demeanor. She's got tons of weapons on her. She's got oodles and oodles of armaments. She shrugs and you hear all of them clink, move, and she looks at you, Torkel. That dragon, Barazir, for all her say and swathing in gold, do you think a dragon like that gets riches because people kindly donate them to her? No. A drake like that has a hoard, and dragons need to keep adding to their hoard, otherwise they go insane, especially a dragon of that size. And what have we seen in the last 3 weeks since the Everstorm subsided? Gnolls killed, people on the roads. Where do you think all that gold's going? There's only one logical place it's got to go. I told this to Seneschal. Don't know if you managed to talk some sense into him. I'm not privy to going in the god coffin. But he does not want to listen, does not want to subscribe to an effort to take on Barazir. Says it's too costly. Says, what if we fail? Be a fallout. People will die. Well, guess what? People are already dying. Now, I'm not some bleeding heart. I don't really care about the gnolls or the people in the regions of these lands. I get paid. That's what I care about. I'll tell you that. Be truthful with you. Killing that dragon is going to give all of us, everyone who goes in there and survives, the greatest payday of our lifetimes. And some of the highest prestige anyone will be able to muster in the southern areas. Hell, you could probably even go into Erith and get a free manor house if you say you're the one that killed Barazir. Or maybe a heavily discounted one. I'll offer you and your party 20% of what's in the dragon's hold, if you assist me. Things aren't all ready yet. Still got some things to come through. But we still need more time to prepare. If you do find yourself wanting and interested, you're a cleric, you can reach out to me. Additionally, there is a Raven Sword encampment on the exterior of Breakwater. I have to go there in a few weeks, a few days actually, in fact. Talk to me there. We can see where we go. That's my offer.
We appreciate your offer.
This is just a Thoric and Torkel.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad.
I look at Thoric. I don't think that their aim will align with our party currently, but if we get any more information, perhaps it is good to have these contacts squirreled away.
Very well. The Seneschal knows of my intentions, so don't feel like you're going to score any points with him. He knows I want to kill the dragon. He knows I'm going to, in his words, stupid enough to try it. But I've said I'll give him a pause of a few weeks providing nothing else changes. So, with that, I bid you good evening, gentlemen. She walks and goes to leave at the door.
Yeah.
No, no problem.
Okay. Yeah, Amanda leaves. What the two of you do?
I'll look at Thor to see if there's anything Anthony wants to say.
Thork just mainly shakes his head. Just he doesn't. He he doesn't feel good about just. Yes, Barazir's an issue. Just killing for money isn't his thing.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we're not going to force a conscience into everyone eventually. I'm beginning to think that we are biting off more than we can chew. Two dragonlings, one adult dragon, caravans on the road, being attacked by bandits or tribesmen. A potential fuel and spy hunting the ex-partner of my friend, and now we have some kind of crime syndicate in Breakwater. There's too many balls in the air and we cannot catch them all. Missing daughter, missing wife. I'm tired.
Had just about enough food to pass by and need to get some sleep.
You know. Well, I will retire to my room. I will inform the others of this interaction. Perhaps they can provide some enlightening thought. Until tomorrow. Takes his leave.
Okay. Thoric, you're left. You return Torkel. You inform your allies of the offer.
Yeah.
Unless anyone has anything to say further, you guys could start a long rest if you wanted.
Orly will probably break any silence that he's had and look at the group. And Thorik's not here; he's gone to bed, right?
Thorik isn't here now.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking at the group, I don't think I can keep going. I don't think I'm going to go to Breakwater with the rest of you.
No.
Well, you have no obligation to stay with us. Okay.
I feel like I'm not helping. I set out on my own journey nearly a year ago, maybe over a year ago. I can't even keep track of the days, and I've made no progress.
What was the journey?
My journey began as a simple task of finding my son. Sounds simple, but after a year, I still haven't dented my mission. And today was pretty much the last straw. I couldn't even look at Barazir.
I did not know you were missing your son. I'm so sorry to hear that. If I had known, I would have offered my help all the more. I don't know why my accent changed. But what hasn't transpired in the past clearly has something to do with dragons, but what is it about Barazir that you cannot stand?
I didn't want to burden anyone else with my own personal issues. We already have had enough on our plates from day one of meeting each other. and it's only grown exponentially now. But from what we've all learnt over the last week, Balrazir seems to be the parent of all dragons and situations that have involved dragons. So you're right. What's transpired over the last year with my own family was caused by dragons. One dragon. And it seems now that it's linked back to Balrazir.
What is it that
That's
happened?
why you were muttering about Kovacs.
That's like a shot to your heart, Orly, when he says those words.
Surprise is a nightmare that I've kept for weeks, months. The first time I heard that name was from my son, my eldest. And I thought nothing of it. Where I live, it's not strange to bump into the likes of Faye or similar. I thought it might have been just that, or maybe just an imaginary friend. My eldest is quite quiet like myself and keeps to himself, so it wouldn't be uncommon for a child to develop that kind of imaginary friendship. So I thought nothing of it. As weeks went by, my son was happy with whatever this friend was, so it was of no harm. But then the days went on and my son's personality changed. He was no longer as kind or as placid. I could see almost a darkness growing. So I went to find this friend, smirking to myself, thinking I'm not going to find this friend. It's imaginary. But what I happened upon was my son with a young dragon, a green dragon. And I panicked. I have no experience with dragons. I was a brass shield many years ago, but I was only a scout. I was low in the ranks. I never witnessed anything like that before. So I screamed. I let out a shout. And everything else happened far too quickly. 1 second my son was there. I was running to him, and next of all, this green monstrosity grabs my child. And they're gone. That was the last time I've seen my son.
Sophia stands up and goes and puts a hand on your shoulder, Orly.
Like I said, I didn't want to burden anyone.
Burdens are lighter when shared with others. However you feel is for you to decide, but I consider you my friend. I am more than happy to help share this burden with you. I will assist in any way that I can, anyway. I am not expert in tracking or finding, but I have some years left in my life. If need be, I will spend them aiding in your search. It is a worthy cause.
I do thank you. But my only lead in the last year flew off an hour ago, and I was too much of a coward to inquire.
Tharzia is a blood dragon. In truth, I would not even expect her to really pay attention to the movements of a green. What's the relation between like the other dragon? Are they sort of on the level of they like tolerate each other, but that's about it, or
Everyone's an asshole.
okay? But I'm talking about a fantasy world, right? I don't mean real life.
Your dragon book, you can study it more, but briefly from what you know, is that especially dragons as they get older become more arrogant, self-aggrandizing, and independent and isolationist. So when they're younger, that they try their hands at many things. As for actual scale differentiations, blues, reds, greens, and blacks, they don't really tend to get along with one another. They have very different demands of their habitat and environment, which changes them through that. Whether the true fury, lava flowing rage of a red dragon, or the conniving, death dealing delight that a black dragon has in the swampland, are all very different from one another. Don't tend to keep each other's company, and if they do, it's more so to keep tabs on what's dangerous to them.
Yeah. She will likely. So I'm sorry. I don't think I know. You might have mentioned this. How big was the dragon? She might know of another adult, but younger. Do not think she would concern herself too much with their knowledge.
It was a young dragon. It was nowhere near the size of Varazir.
I have read reports in relation to this dragon from the newspaper back in my home. It may be that some there have more information. My father was a well-respected investigative journalist over there. If you stay with us, there may be more. I haven't talked to him, and I can find a way to contact him. A green dragon, even a young green dragon, is relatively hard to hide if it is flying through the air with someone's child. You now have more avenues and opportunities in the group with this burden shared. You have 5 minds rather than 1. We will do everything we can to.
The dragon that Thor got his shield from, he's relatively young, and I imagine that when they're sent out, they know where free real estate is and where occupied real estate is. We could ask him. He may have, or her, it, whatever. They might have a better idea.
Is everyone sure they want to take this on? Because
question: am I asleep in my room at the moment?
You're asleep.
Yep, cool.
Wally, I can only speak for myself at the moment, but I will be happy to help you with this. You search for a good cause. Family is something crucial and important. It would go against everything that I wish to be to refuse you. I will aid you wherever I can.
Orly, I want help, but I can't put that ahead of the other things I need to do.
That's fine.
You have taken on the burden of assisting me with something that is important. I have no problems with taking on the burden of assisting you. I think that an open and honest discussion about what takes precedent and what is easier, but I have no problem in doing whatever is within my power to try and help you with your task.
Well, up until 5 minutes ago, I was prepared to go home and explain to the rest of my family that I failed. So my burden doesn't need to take precedence.
We have not failed yet. We will continue.
Failure is only achieved when you stop trying. We will continue.
Hey, DM.
Sophia, just quickly. Sophia, tightly grips on your shoulder, Orly. You helped me before I had my brains caved in, or my home dropped on top of me. I don't have much friends, except for I think you guys count as friends now. But I'll help you, Orly. I'll help you find your kid.
I'll give her a nod, and I'm sorry for being so rude earlier. I know you were only trying to help.
It's okay. She goes to pick a bunk. What are you doing? You wanted to ask me a question, Ryan?
I'm well traveled. I've been
Yes.
around a while.
Yeah.
Can I roll anything to see if I've ever heard of a green dragon anywhere in the borders of this nation?
You can. It's a lower DC, so yeah, you can roll. You can roll a history check.
I know that one family has a green dragon that they trained their youth, etc., etc.
No, that was only Torgal who rolled a 24 in a history check. He was the only one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, sure.
You can make a lesser history check if you
History
want.
or Arcana. I have no. Okay.
You make an
Sorry,
Arcana check about the properties of dragons.
Yeah,
or nature
you're right.
check.
Yeah. Okay. History then.
History, if you want to know the whereabouts, recent history of green dragons. Arcana or nature, you want to know about the properties of green
19.
dragons. 19. All right.
Actually, I can get that higher if you want. I can get that higher with guidance if I cast guidance.
If you believe your character would have cast guidance on themselves, to assist
My
them,
character would have absolutely cast guidance. I'm just not that smart.
Then roll a d4. 23.
22. 23. 22.
Okay. So, you thinking back, you never recognize the name Severius. But do you recognize a story you heard in a tavern near Burrell a little while ago, before the Everstorm hit? Heard about family. Really, really rich family in Oakhart. Were using a green dragon that they captured to train their family scions. And for the 23, you know that dragon somehow connected to the Tournament of Flame in Oakhart. Tournament of Flame is a once a year tournament held in nearly all the towns within the Concord. It is a martial tournament. Some of them take on great fights of multiple opponents at once. Others put monsters in the arena. Oakhart tends to prefer the latter, where knights, renowned warriors, are challenged to fight creatures. And this family entered such a creature in a tournament. Last you had heard about it, but the family sold it to the Church of Audrin provincially, so that it would be entered in that. Just to bear in mind, the Tournament of Flame is a good about another 1, 2, 3,
2 months
4.
away.
Yeah, it's like 2 months away. Yeah, about 2 months away. So it's a while away yet, but as far as you heard, it's a young enough green dragon, which fits the description or fits the likeness.
Yeah, but his kid went missing a year ago, so it was
caught. It was
not
caught only a while ago.
Oh, okay. I thought it had been a while. Okay, I thought it had been in service of the family for a while. Okay.
It has been, but like you heard about the Everstorm, it's probably been in the service of the family maybe since early last year, something like that.
Okay.
It was a big story when it first happened, but since then it's just become another rich person owns a weird creature and use it to their own benefit.
That sounds like real life.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. Well, I'm gonna be an asshole, and well, no one's mentioned this out loud, right? Out of out of character. Was it Thork that knew this information, or
It was Torkel.
No, it was
Torkel.
Torkel. Did Torkel mention anything about this out loud?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Okay,
mentioned
well,
that under the. It was
Okay.
It had been.
A little early, yeah. After, fuck, I'm really sorry. I can't. We have to do this thing. I have to do this thing at Breakwater first, but I don't know how many lives are risk of it.
Make another
After
history
that,
check for me, please, Ryan. DC 5.
This is how the DM tells me I'm being stupid.
No, so the DM tells you something relevant.
Is it DC 2?
Uh,
You should know this.
One of the premier trade routes of the shipping lane is from Breakwater to Oakheart.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think God boats exist. But
Because
okay.
Oakheart is like the rich town, effectively.
Yeah.
Rich. And
Okay.
Breakheart is where all of the world-renowned trade comes in.
Trade.
So where do people transport their rich stuff? To Oakheart.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Orly, we need to handle the thing at Oakheart because many innocent people's lives are at risk, including maybe the city itself. And then after that, I am happy to dedicate myself entirely to helping you out with your son.
I haven't forgotten about Slate's family. And if anything, that will prioritize for me as well. So whatever anybody else wants to go to Breakwater for, that's fine. But the road is leading me to Breakwater if I stay to help them. So
At this
I
point,
agree.
Sophia says, "Oh, who we're looking for? They purchased the Identity Stones last night. We're hot on their heels."
This is good
Oh
news.
shit, that's right. I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot we hadn't shared that yet.
Yeah, I've been waiting so long for this.
I just thought we shared it last time. I'm so sorry.
I've been interrupted that information being
Yes,
shared.
you're absolutely right. I'm you know, my recollection of the events was we came out, we discussed it, and then the dragon happened. I completely forgot we hadn't actually mentioned it yet.
No, it's before you even got a chance to speak. You heard the horns go
Oh,
off.
I said earlier, Orly loses his patience.
I am so fucking dumb. Oh my Christ.
Chill, dude. It's fine.
He picks a bunk. Top bunk. One in the far corners.
What time of night is it?
Like,
He's
pretty
betting
late
on
at this
for
point.
well into 11.
Oh, 11 p.m.?
Yeah.
I'm going down for it. I'm going to try get another one of those balls.
Okay. Mark off another 2 gold pieces, then go down back downstairs.
Thank you. And when I finish that, I will go to bed.
All right, so Orly's retiring.
When you finish that, I don't know if you'll have a choice in the matter.
Torko, are you going to bed?
Yeah, Tork was going to go to bed, isn't that?
Okay. Hendrik and Laranok, you guys all going to bed?
They're not going to probably just stay up for a little bit, just sort of thinking and processing effectively.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
Okay. I want the 2 of you to make religion checks for me, please.
Okay. Fuck, I'm not studying at these.
I feel like Leonard's just babysitting now at this point. He's staying awake until I come back to the room.
26.
You know what? Honestly, that's relatively high for what I've rolled this session.
Wait, what's the character date?
What's that? It's the 3rd of Bottom.
Okay, I was making sure it wasn't like a religious thing. Like, oh no, I forgot to do the.
No, this is something different. Lurnok, as just as most of your allies bed up and extinguish the candlelight close to their dressers and go to sleep in this large room, you think on what you said earlier to the Seneschal. People driven to kill because of their love for their god. It reminds you of someone.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Someone so fierce they're willing to die for them and kill for them.
Yeah,
A zealotry. No, not you. No, not you. A zealotry, almost what you thought was unique to your culture, but clearly not. Hendrik. As you start to lull off, finally changing your smoking, drinking jacket back into nice pajamas.
yeah, pajamas.
You get into your bunk, and you think about Barzir, the tribes, and Slate, and all these things. You're an inquisitor of Tyr. This is your responsibility. You've now just been in the god coffin with the seneschal.
Yeah.
As you start to drift off, you see something in your dream, first dream you have of the night. You see this almost mirror-like reflective gem. You see it just kind of hovering in a blank space, dilute of color. The gem seems to mirror the inflection of a eye, a single eye. And you start to kind of hear things around it. Objects start to appear around this object, straw and thatch and a covering and cloth, and starts to get bundled up in this stuff. And you hear these voices. They get gradually louder. They seem to be annoyed, agitated. You hear the kind of creaking of wood, creaking of nails falling out of a structure. As a lid rattles off on the floor. You swear that you're kind of staring through this strange, hovering view over an open crate in a dark, dingy, underground situ. You can see no more than 10 feet. And you see two shapes peering into the crate. This mirror-like eye gem object. And they both just stare and start to laugh and giggle, excited. Yes! Yes, they seem excited that they found it. They found this item. They just stare in amazement at it. You recognize this item, Hendrik. It's a fabled artifact of your god. It is one of the eyes of Tyr. And these do not look like any priests of Tyr who are excited to find it.
God fucking damn it.
That's the dream you have as you start the long rest. And that's where we're going to end the session and start our Christmas break.
Bro,
Henry has a new goal. He's
we
going
need a
to
mind
use his
map.
magic to make a duplicate of himself so he can handle all the shit he has to do.
we need to do one of those mind maps where this links to this links to that.
Okay, Orly, you
No, we just end up looking like the meme where we're like
Charlie.
Yeah. Oh, is that the? I don't know the character.
It's
yeah,
Charlie,
like
dude.
the one. Look, it's all connected. I swear.
Oh my
we need to split
god.
into two parties, guys. I'm sorry.
You guys laughed at me when I said she was here to talk.
Well, it was either that or
We kind of fucked up because she was here to fight, and then we're like,
Let's do
Listen,
piety.
Your point was good, but I thought it was the wrong time to have this conversation on possibilities.
It was exactly the right time. If we had shot first, it would have started the fight.
I was expecting one of us to get evaporated in lightning at any moment. And you're just
In
like,
which case,
well,
then the fight starts and
what
probably
if?
ends immediately.
Like,
But
fuck up, Blair.
For that
Yes, what
vision, for that dream, you will receive 3 points of piety.
oh damn!
I have a question. I have a
Yes.
question.
Mhm.
What would have happened if Lyranok had gotten the role really well?
His god
Who
would have
knows?
spoken to him as well.
Okay, cool.
Which one?
yes.
that's the concerning part.
I'm sorry, she was that a god would have spoken to him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's even more terrifying, isn't it, Toxie?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm connected to like 4 of the fucking things.
Okay, so you take 3 points for you in piety, Hendrik, and then for Kinos, I think you definitely deserve a point for taking decisive action on impulse for you for just speaking to a dragon.
It's one of the reasons I.
He was in a meeting. You're like, no, I'm gonna be a part of this call.
So that's a point of piety.
A point of piety for you.
So did I go to 1 or 4?
What's that?
So how does the piety work? Because it had 3 in it originally, but does that go to 4 or does it go to 1?
It goes to 4.
You should be.
Well,
Yeah.
You start with 3.
You start with what?
1.
One.
You started with
You
one.
start
And as you start with 1, you should be at. What are you at now? You're at 3.
I should be at 2 then. No, I've never had any apart from today. So if I start with
No,
1,
you
Matt,
definitely.
No, you have. Yeah.
Let me look at
I think I have.
Dude, you're at 4 piety right now.
Yeah.
I think you're at 4.
My
right
gut
now.
tells me.
Oh, okay.
So it's a cumulative score, so it adds each time you get piety. I think you've 4 piety. I think you should be higher, to be honest.
It does seem quite low.
Yeah.
So then again, maybe his piety is.
My earning piety requirements are creating a masterwork such as a building or a poem, taking decisive action on impulse, or destroying something that has outlived its usefulness. So they are quite niche.
It's kind of niche, yeah.
Yeah, but with the system that we talked about, there might be opportunities for you to get more piety.
Yeah, that should help a lot towards some of the parts of it. Yeah.
If we can get some downtime and you can start crafting some stuff, like
Look at
Look at the amount of shit we have on our plates right now. You're talking.
It's channel divinity is literally crafting something.
What we need to do is get a cart that's pulled by a big hydel, and so that someone sits in the hydel, and then I'm in the cart just making shit while we travel.
No, I tell you what we need to do. We need to figure out the other fucking party that Cypher is DMing for and recruit them or pay them IRL to fucking do something to do.
Nice.
Wait, give it you don't have the choice of accepting this. Have it.
You do not want to be involved in what they're doing.
Oh god.
The
complete opposite end.
Go ahead.
I had to step away from the queue for a second. I didn't hear. Did I get any piety?
You did. You got revealing a critical truth at an important moment.
Cool.
So you get a point of piety. For Learnock and Boulder, eh? I'm not sure you guys get any piety this session.
I lose 1 piety this session.
I mean, I would like to argue keeping
I don't even
home
know
well looked after, family fed, treating strangers with respect. I'm helping Sophia integrate into the party.
Did I give you piety? Did I give you piety for helping the nose last session? I think I did.
Yeah, because I got one as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would. If you want to do that to your character and take an anathema to your deity for being a dick, you can, Orly.
Yeah. Oh, for being a coward mostly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Because like you didn't. Yeah.
No, I hid.
Yeah. Everyone takes inspiration as well after that session.
Yeah.
If you didn't already have it.
Thank you.
It's great. It's some amazing RP.
What was it? Oh, there was a question I was going to ask. Fuck. Can't remember. Shit.
It must have been very important.
I'm on 7, Toxie. What are you on, actually?
8.
Nice.
I think I'm on 8 as well.
Someone's very close to reaching their 10th piety.
Yeah, I would have been. I prioritized RP over fucking deity, boy.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what you're meant to do.
Doesn't make sense, though.
I literally don't know Orly's deity. Does Orly know?
No, you should. No. You should. Well, it's maybe session 1. I might have mentioned it.
Yeah, he's a follower of Baldry as well.
Yeah, I think session 1.
Baldry?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Family. I guess that makes sense. I thought you were I don't know, different sort of person.
Like wildlife kind of thing.
Mina. Mina.
Oh, really? Okay.
Something I need to do for Toxie is I need to make a homebrew paladin subclass, the Oath of Community for all the cooking and shit that's in there.
I think redemption still fits.
I think once Story and Lyranok, or once Orly and Lyranok are both level 10 piety for Bulger, you don't have to worry about rations anymore, guys.
Yeah, we were already talking about that.
We both get create food and water.
Yeah, all we need to do is get. We just need spices. That's all.
As long as one of us is conscious at the end of the day.
One of you guys are gonna have to be the sous chef, though.
That's fine.
That was a great session.
Thank you.
Bar is very different. Yes, thank you very much.